All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Elite 8. Man, what an exciting time. Rafael, how are you doing today? Are we pumped about today or what?
Amazing. So happy to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Man, I am so happy to have you here, man. You sound great. As always, guys, let us know in the chat if anything sounds out of line. I just the music was a little loud there, so I bumped it down a little. But as always, please let us know how things are sounding out there. If everything's coming through 5x5, if anything's too loud, if anything's too quiet, if anything is out of order. Look at all this amazing chat that we got going this morning, man. This is massive hype. Armin says massive hype. I completely agree. Christian here says GERBEN. That's what's up, man. GERBEN is running today. We got GERBEN versus Victor. We got Alnis versus Jed Hightower. We got Ricardo J versus Ivan. We got Tom Smith versus Low 9. This is going to be a day of epic matchups, and we have an outstanding co-host here today with me, none other than Rafael Testai. Rafael, welcome. If you guys don't know, Rafael's a terrific SolidWorks content creator. He puts out a lot of excellent work. I especially enjoy your series on kind of deciphering how common mechanisms work. I really enjoy watching you kind of take these things apart, showing them in SolidWorks, and you just explain it quickly. You have long format videos, you have short format videos, you got something there for everyone. And beyond that, Rafael also is a podcast host. So if I know there's actually a few people on the call today who've done some podcasts, and I just think overall you're an excellent storyteller and explainer. So thank you so much, guys. Make sure you follow Rafael on LinkedIn. His podcast is called Being an Engineer, and thank you for being here today, Rafael.
Thank you.
What do you think about the tournament so far?
I'm excited. to see the different techniques, and I came here with a student mindset. I want to learn from the participants, take something home, and admire their work.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's funny. I have learned a lot. I'm definitely going to be making some content about the top tips that I've learned from being a part of this series. I've learned so much. I've changed the way that I work as I'm going through my regular workday. I do a lot of contract design work, and so now I'm seeing the techniques that these guys are using in the tournament, and I'm definitely using them. And what's up to Virtual Flat CAD? What's up, Rob? Rob's been doing a series of CAD model of the day. I don't know if you've seen any of Rob's work, but he did 1,100 days in a row, which is just mind-boggling to do a CAD model every single day for 1,100 days. So huge shout out to Rob Maldonado in the chat. Welcome. Josh is here as well. What's up, Josh? Welcome, says Rob the man. He agrees. We got so much good activity in the chat. But you know what? Today we got 4 matches, so I'm going to be moving at a slightly faster clip. I did randomize some of the matches. I was going to show this live, the magic wheel of the order in which we are going to be doing the models today, but I thought it would be cool to just randomize things so that it's even more random. We don't know who's going to get what models, but this thing just takes too long to spin every time. I didn't want to do it live, so that's why the order might look a little funky as we're going through these matches today. And we're here in the Elite 8, and that means that when this tournament started, we had 32 runners, plus we had 10 people signed up on the waiting list. Well, not anymore. Now we're down to just 8 runners. When this tournament started, we have 12 different countries registered, but not anymore. Now we're down to just 4: United States, Netherlands, Brazil, and Canada. And we started with 6 different CAD systems, but we are now down to just 3 SolidWorks Onshape Inventor. So I see Reed is in the chat, says, go Alnis. What's up, Reed? Shout out to Reed in the chat. We got anybody, whoever you're out there rooting for, let us know in the chat. I mean, Rafael, what do you think? We're here almost at the Final Four here. Maybe I'll let you think about it for a second. When we get to the Final Four, which is next week, we're going to actually have some prize money up top. So first place is going to get $200 USD, second place is going to get $100 USD, and third and fourth place are going to get $50 each. So that means that everybody who advances today is going to be in the money, and we are going to go again live in 2 weeks on December 3rd for the absolute finals. Rob says music is bumping. I hope that is good. Christian Block is in here. What's up, Chris? How you doing? Says this is better than FIFA World Cup. Thank you very much. I just did my drawing for my FIFA teams 2 days ago on the Core podcast with Kirby. So I got Wales. That's what I'm going for. I got Wales in the World Cup. You guys can. Anybody who wants to take that bet, let me know after the live stream. Okay, and of course, this prize money is sponsored by none other than Mrs. Tall Toby. So I want to give a huge shout out to Mrs. Tall Toby, who is making this all possible, letting me spend my Saturday mornings with you guys, and even putting up some prize money for our amazing runners. So thank you very much to Mrs. Tall Toby. And today, we're going to take a look at these 4 matchups that we mentioned earlier. And what do you think, Rafael? We got match 1, match 2, match 3, match 4. We're going to be going through this. You got any predictions who we're going to see here on December 3rd?
I don't know yet, but what I know is that I'm only familiar with the SOLIDWORKS interface, so I'm excited to see what the other CAD packages look like.
I am excited as well. I'm so excited. I got to have a good solid water strategy. So I got a ton of water here to keep me hydrated as we go through this matchup. My mouth is dry getting in anticipation of these matchups, so I'm sure these guys are feeling some butterflies. So we're going to see who gets through, and whoever gets through today is going to be in the final 4, and we're going to have the semifinals and the finals all on one day, December 3rd. Shout out to Wade Hightower. Just can't wait. That's what I'm talking about. Josh May says, Tom, let's do it. Josh is predicting Tom's going to be there. Let us know in the chat. Who do you guys think is going to make it through? Who are you rooting for? Or whatever. You can just talk about other stuff. What's your favorite recipe for chocolate chip cookies? You know, whatever you're into, put it in the chat and we'll talk about it. And if you guys like this kind of stuff, this idea of having a world series of CAD speed modeling, be sure to support the channel. One of the easiest ways that you can support the channel is just by hitting the like button. I can see that we've got, let's see here, 80 people watching right now live, and we've got 26 likes. Let's see what we can do to get those numbers to match up. So I'm going to go over on my monitoring computer here. I'm going to hit the like button. Let's see what we can do to get those likes up to match the number of people that are watching. And of course, if you want to see more of this type of content or tips and tricks, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Be sure to share and reshare. If you want to take a screen capture of what we're doing here today, you can put it out on your social media. You can say, this is really cool, CAD versus CAD speed modeling. And be sure to get people to tune in on December 3rd. And of course, you can join the mailing list over at tootalltoby.com just in case anything ever happens to the YouTube platform. You know how things are a little unstable these days in the world of these giant platforms, things shutting down. FTX just shut down for no reason, you know, no good reason. You know, who knows what else is going to be shutting down. So be sure to get on my mailing list here, tootalltoby.com. And if you want to support financially, it is always very much appreciated. It goes a long way towards helping making sure that these tournaments can keep happening. This type of content can keep coming out. You can hit me up with Super Chat. There's a little $ symbol underneath the chat. You can use a credit card and send me over a few bucks. Similarly, if you're watching the recording, you can use what's called Super Thanks. And if you prefer to use PayPal, you can head over to tootalltoby.com, and there is a PayPal link for donation to help support this type of content. And, one last thing before we move on. Just want to mention the shirts are available. Rafael, I mailed you a shirt. Did you get it, bro?
Not yet.
Oh, no. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I tried to get it to you in time. But guys, check them out. The Too Tall Toby shirts, they are available over on the merch store. They are out now. It is exciting. They're super, super soft shirts. So check them out. If anybody in the chat has gotten one already, let us know in the chat how soft they are.
I'll make sure I wear it for one of my videos.
Oh, I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'll be watching it. So I was hoping you could get it by today, but don't worry, it's on its way. And when you get it, you're going to be able to just rest your head on it and go night-night because it is super soft. Tamborora Station says, I bought a t-shirt. Nice. Thank you, Tamborora Station. Did you get it yet? That's the question. I think I mailed some of them out on Monday, so hopefully you either got it or you will get it very shortly. All right, that's it. Let's get into it here, guys. This is the first of 4 matches that we're going to see, none other than Victor, one of the fastest SolidWorks speed models I've ever seen, versus GERBEN, one of the fastest speed modelers I've ever seen in general. GERBEN is just an absolute beast. So let's take a look at this. This is a SolidWorks versus Inventor match. So I thought it'd be cool if we could get a special guest in here, none other than Neil Cross. So guys, welcome Neil to the event. Put a 1 in the chat if you're excited to hear Neil in here today. And Neil, how are you doing today?
Splendid, mate. Splendid. A lot better than I was feeling the last time I was here. I was feeling like death warmed up on the last one. But
well, I got to tell you, I know you messaged me afterwards sharing that with me that you weren't feeling 100%, and it didn't show at all during the live stream. You were awesome, man. It's so good having you, and I love hearing all your feedback. And Neil is an Autodesk Expert Elite. He runs Tech 3D for Expert CAD engineering tips and tricks. He puts out a ton of good content, lots of really cool comparison things. Like I know the past couple of videos you've done have been about the differences between Inventor and Fusion 360. Very insightful. I thought it was really helpful. I think I even responded and put like a list like, oh yeah, these are all the things that would definitely hit home with me. So thank you for all you do in the community, Neil.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, and I really I enjoy I've always enjoyed your content, and it's not just CAD related. You do a lot of stuff too with hardware, you know, kind of keeping us up to date on the latest things that are going on in the hardware space. What is a good laptop? I remember when Dell released, I think it was like the 77 one of the 7700 series. You were like, what is this? Like, it was just really cool to hear your insight. And I remember one of the other things I learned from your hardware videos was that like some hardware manufacturers will throttle the graphics performance based on the PSU that they put into the system, and I had no idea about that before.
Yeah, it's a common thing that's happened for the last few years. If the laptop chassis just can't handle the GPU that's in there, they'll dial it back. They'll not feed it with as much power as it's potentially capable of handling. It just depends on the brand. But yeah, I've been fascinated with hardware for a while because coming from a CAD supplier background, one of the most common questions or issues you get are people complaining about the CAD program being slow. So I felt it was quite prudent to get involved with hardware and really understand how the applications interface with the hardware, what makes the applications run the best. So really, when you do offer somebody advice on what to get, you know you're giving them the fastest system possible. And that's not, in fact, it's rarely the most expensive system. It's just got to be the right one. So yeah, I've been doing quite a lot with hardware over the last couple
I thought
years.
that one was so interesting because, like, in that case, you were doing side-by-side comparisons of the same graphics card, but it's like one would perform significantly better, and it was just, you know, seemingly it was just because of the brand of the laptop manufacturer, but as you just described, it actually had to do with what they're doing on the inside. So if you guys like that kind of stuff, if you want to see some more in-depth content like that, be sure to check out Neil's YouTube channel, youtube.com/tech3dworld. You're always going to get good content on there. But today, Neil, we're here to call the action between Victor and GERBEN. What do you think about this matchup? Is this going to be epic or what?
Oh, both of them are absolutely outstanding. And what I'm mostly interested to see is how much more difficult the models potentially get. Whether are we stepping it up a level with the models?
We are definitely stepping it up a level with the models. Yeah. We're gonna see a little bit more challenges, that's for sure. We'll see. If maybe not for these guys, you know. I think maybe for the average user, they would think like, "Whoa, that's a lot to do in just a few minutes." But these guys might just say, "Still too easy. Let's keep taking the bar up." So we'll figure it out as we go, I guess. So if you guys are watching this for the first time, here's an overview of how this works. What happens here in these tournaments is we're going to show the runners a 2D print, and we're going to ask them to create a 3D model. And after they're done creating that 3D model, they're going to try to calculate the mass, and they're going to enter that mass directly into the YouTube chat. Now, the rules for the tournament are that this is a best-of-3 matchup. So when somebody gets a win, they will get a little green dot. And when they get 2 wins, then they are able to move on to the Final Four on December 3rd. When the runners input their answer in the YouTube chat, they're allowed to input 1 incorrect answer. If they do, I'll say something like, "I'm sorry, Tom Smith, you got it wrong. That is not the correct mass. Go back through your model, look at the print, try to make sure that you didn't miss any dimensions, didn't miss any features, and try again." If they get it wrong a second time, then I'm going to throw up a 5-minute timer, and it's going to be up to the other person to lose, basically. If the other person can't figure it out in that 5 minutes, then the match will be a push. You have to win twice in order to move on. So there's no freebies here. Shout out to Andrew Lowe. What's up? $10. Let's go. Thank you very much, Andrew Lowe. Very much appreciated. Yeah, you're allowed to get it wrong 1 time. If you get it wrong twice, then you're out. So it's kind of a fun little dynamic. People are really scrambling to get their first answer in. Like, hopefully this is right. And then it's kind of no more training wheels, no more safety net. You just got to get it right that second time. So the other rules here are that the chat can absolutely play along. When I show the 2D print, if you think you're as fast as these guys, you can take a screen capture yourself and you can attempt to create a 3D model. But please do not help the runners. Okay, that means don't post the mass yourself. If you come up with the correct mass or what you think is the correct mass, don't dump it into the chat, and don't help them if they get stuck. So if you see one of the runners and he misses a fillet or a hole, or forgets to fill something in or change its dimension or something like that, don't let them know. This is really their time to shine. These guys are the stars today, so let's let them shine. And but feel free, if you want to try to challenge yourself, you can try to model it up, and then you can say, "I got it." Something like that. We got some, let's see here. We got some letters here in the chat. What's your favorite letter of the alphabet? Let's go. We're here on November 19th. Rafael, you ready for this match?
Very excited.
I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm ready. Here we go. We got Victor from the United States going against Gerben from the Netherlands. Let's learn a little bit about our runners before we get started. Victor has been using SolidWorks for 8 years. Certified SolidWorks expert. He currently works at a 3D scanning firm, and he's got 6 years of SolidWorks with Formula SAE experience. On the other side, we got Gerben. And Gerben placed first in World Skills Netherlands CAD 2020 and considers speed modeling an esport. Yeah, I have to agree with him there. In fact, I started actually posting on the Reddit Speed Esport board, trying to get some people in here. So if you're in here from the Reddit Esport message board, please let us know. We would love to know who's in here and where you're coming from. Vors says, any rounds yet? Vors, I got good news for you. You came in at just the right time. We are just about to get started with the very first match. Here we go. What's going to happen here is I'm going to show these guys a full screen. When I switch over to full screen here, I'm going to show them a print. And as soon as I show them the print, the competition is live. They are going to immediately grab a screen capture, and they're going to immediately begin modeling. And as soon as they do, we're going to see their screens. So here we go. I'm going to ask Gerben if you could please cancel that screen that you're on. We want to make sure that we click new. There we go. Perfect. Okay, thank you. And it looks like Victor is also good and ready to go here. So I'm going to flip over to full screen. And this first CAD battle will begin here in sometime in 3. As soon as I show the 2D print, these guys are going to get going. In 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in x.xxx pounds? Oh, we got an IPS print for the first one. Tolerance is plus or minus 0.002 pounds. The unit system is IPS. The material is plain carbon steel with 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. And I highlighted that one dimension because when I was testing this model, I missed that dimension. So I thought maybe you guys would miss it too. Here we go. They're both up and running. Let's flip over to our CAD versus CAD competition here. First modeling matchup in the Elite 8. We got Victor on the left using SolidWorks. We got Gerben on the right using Inventor. Let's see what kind of approach these guys are going to come up with for this challenge. Looks like they're both starting out with, looking down on this thing from the top, creating that kind of oblong shape with the 2 circles and tangent C. I think that's a pretty solid way to start. Is that how you would start this thing, Rafael?
I would. And I wanted to add that I used to be a runner, long distance. And how we started off this session, it made me feel of my runner days. When the gun goes off and you're just running, I feel excited.
Go. Let's see what they come up with. And Neil, what do you think about Gerben's technique here on the right?
Yep. He's going about it the way I would. I'm just looking at the part and I can't unsee the Star Wars sort of fighter shape. You know, I can't unsee it now.
It's like Boba Fett's ship.
Yeah.
That's what I saw too, bro. That's so funny. So we see, looks like Victor on the left started to create that kind of lower base shape with that, that lower thickness. And now he's going back and reusing that original sketch geometry to create additional features. It's something that we can do in SolidWorks called shared sketch and contour selection. So I like his technique so far. Gerben on the right deviating a little bit and creating more of the solid geometry with that those little side flanges that are sticking out. But both of them just, in just about a minute have been able to get in here and really create the foundation of this model. Of course, it is always challenging to look at something like a 2D print, something like this, and then come up with a game plan of how are we going to build that thing, how are we going to come up with the geometry. Looks like, interestingly, they're both now creating that kind of angled support. So both Victor on the left and Gerben on the right. Victor using SolidWorks, Gerben using Inventor.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with this part as well. So there's a number of different ways you can attack it. Sort of, do you go for that kind of angled bit at the bottom? Do you get that bit out of the way first? Do you prep it first before you go for that part? So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm going to make sure I can see the SolidWorks guy at the same time because this is neck and neck, isn't it?
This is, insanely neck and neck, And it's interesting that they both kind of have decided to go with a very similar order of feature creation. Something about Inventor that always throws me off is, and we talked about this in the last session, is that when you begin sketching in Inventor, it kind of automatically gives you a section view of the model. And so I keep looking at Gerben and thinking like, oh, is he just modeling half? But no, he's just going into sketch mode, and that's really cool. I could see that being extremely useful.
Yeah, it's an option. It's called slice graphics. You can turn it on and off. One of the most distracting parts I find about sketching is when you first sketch on a face, the camera orbits around to look sort of perpendicular down onto that face. It's really useful sometimes, but it can be really distracting, especially if you've got a really busy model. You kind of lose your perspective on what it is you're looking at. But then the second you turn that off, you find that you actually really wanted it. So it's one of those things. But
yeah, that's definitely something that we have in SolidWorks as well, and I feel the same as you. Sometimes very useful, sometimes turn it off.
Yeah.
Rafael, I can tell you're just speechless, bro.
I was just thinking that the shortcut for that was Control-8, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's to get normal too. You got it. Good memory. Right. So GERBEN looks like he created a boss there unintentionally. That was kind of interesting, but real quick to resolve it. I mean, look at this guy. And then he just picks a face and then turns it into a hole. How did he do that so quickly? Man, this is intense.
Yeah, going for the mirrored feature as well, making it as efficient as possible. Yeah, and I can see GERBEN's got the top left. He's got the properties brought through onto the main viewport, which was something that I found out after I was commentating on the last one. I saw somebody, I don't know if it was GERBEN himself who had that, but I looked at it and I was like, that's a really good idea, that. And putting the material in the mass in the main viewport, because Inventor doesn't do that out the box. You need to.
Yeah, in fact, I saw you made a video on that very topic. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of clever ways people are coming up with, kind of keeping a real-time view of the answer. Really, ultimately, it's what the answer is, and so every little bit is going to help. I mean, we can see as these guys get more and more skilled, get closer and closer together in their skill level, every little bit helps. Wow, GERBEN just he moved that sketch line over. I wasn't sure how he was able to bring that geometry onto the inside.
Yeah, he's just sort of fixing his sketch back up there. The edges of the main body aren't projected into that sketch, so there's nothing wrong with that. You can still have the sketch going through the solid. It'll still intersect at the right places and form the right amount of material.
Yeah, you just end up having that kind of overlap merge.
Yeah.
And boy, these guys are so close to each other right now. They are absolutely neck and neck. Looks like Victor's creating that tab sticking out of the back of the model there. That's probably where Boba Fett would sit, or maybe where he would keep some of his supplies.
So we've got an answer coming.
Oh, thank you. So GERBEN comes in with an answer. Sorry, hold on. I gotta look at my thing here. 1.536 pounds. That is incorrect. That is incorrect. So GERBEN came in with an answer here. 1.536 pounds. That is incorrect. So GERBEN, take a look over your model. Take a look at your dimensions. Make sure that you're not missing anything. Make sure you got all the dimensions correct, got all the geometry correct. 1.536 is incorrect, and that is one incorrect answer from GERBEN. And my goodness, I can't believe
he's
how
on
quickly
it straight away.
I
think he noticed it straight away.
And Victor coming in with an answer, 1.575, and that is the correct answer. Holy smokes.
Wow,
that was
well done.
So close and so fast. The answer that I got was actually 1.574, but the tolerance is plus or minus 0.002 pounds. So guys, give a GG in the chat to Victor for winning that first match. And holy smokes, that was fast from both of them.
Unlucky GERBEN. You could tell as soon as you dropped the answer in the chat, he realized he'd forgot those little webbed parts on the left and right, and he must be devastated because he obviously waited around for the answer to come back and get checked. And in that time, he could, if he knew that they were missing, he could have just done that and got the answer in quicker. But
you really calling me out on this one, huh, Neil? I will. That's a good point, though. I will try to be more on it with these answers and be a little bit more. I confess I was so enthralled by the speed of these runners that I was a little bit off my game. So I gotta be on it. It's important. So very nice.
Not just that. No, it's the time to go and get the eye. You had to go and save the part to get the eye property. It's just that time could have been making the feature. But that's the beauty of speed modeling, though, isn't it? You've got to be as efficient as possible, because I mean they were seconds apart again.
It really was. I mean, it was just one after the other right there. So very nicely done to GERBEN. Very nicely done to Victor. Wow. I knew these matches were going to be intense. I didn't even realize how intense they were going to be, though. So, guys, be sure to give a GG in the chat to both of the runners. And we're going to learn a little bit more about these runners now as they head into their second match. Like I said, Victor's been using SolidWorks for 8 years. He's working currently on 5 different 3D printer projects at once. And he has a hard time finishing projects, but no problem starting new ones. So I guess when he was asked to participate in this tournament, he said to himself, you know what? I only have 5 different projects right now. Let's go. I'll get into another one. Get into this tournament. And we can see here that GERBEN, beyond being having won Netherlands CAD 2020, he also is the current reigning champion of the Too Tall Toby Speed Modeling 2021 championship. So goodness. What did you guys think about that matchup? Any final thoughts on that one?
Very, very close. Very close. Number of different ways you could attack it. I think they both approached it with the same techniques, and at the end, it was just a case of, unfortunately, GERBEN missed that critical part. I think if he'd got that part, it would have been another photo finish, I reckon, on that one.
Yeah, that was intense. What do you think, Rafael?
What I like about this tournament is that it's not like March Madness, the basketball tournament. It's not just one game. So you have a chance to redeem yourself. It's like a playoff series. You have to win 2 out of 3. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, this is where things are going to get pretty darn intense, I think. We're going to see what these guys are up to with this next challenge. So I'm excited to see how this one goes. Guys in the chat, let us know if you have any questions. But if you're like those of us that are doing the commentary here, you're probably just mouth dropped open, just amazed by how fast these runners are. So I don't know about you guys, but I want to see some more. Let's get into it here with our next CAD battle. So our next CAD battle is going to go live here as soon as I show the full screen print. I have randomized the order here, so I want to make sure that I know the answer right away. And let's flip over to full screen, and here we go. The next CAD battle begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? Tolerance plus or minus 1 gram. Note the geometry in these areas. Little magenta note there so you guys can make sure you pay attention to the geometry in those areas. Very important. And both of our runners already grabbed a screen capture and are ready to create some 3D CAD. Let's flip over to full screen and see what they're doing. CAD versus CAD tournament. GERBEN on the right using Autodesk Inventor. Victor on the left using SolidWorks. Now this is a pretty complicated drawing. So this is one of these models that you would definitely want to take a minute, kind of look over the entire thing, come up with a game plan. What's my starting plane going to be? What's my starting profile? What's the order of these features? This part is in MMGS, and it is in plain carbon steel, 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. So let's see what these guys come up with for this challenge.
Yeah, this one's, it looks really difficult. If you look at the bottom left-hand projected view, the amount of radial dimensions you've got coming off of there, it's easy to get overwhelmed just looking at that, and just your brain, especially in a high-pressure speed modeling contest, to just look at that and think, where do I even begin? But if you sort of take a step back, look at the part itself, it's not hugely complicated. It's probably just a handful of features, but the difficult part of all of this is making sense of the dimensions and knowing where to start and where to, which direction you're heading in. So good model, Toby. Good one.
Thank you. And I think that is, very interesting to see, to think about, like, where would I actually start with this thing? How would I, what would my starting profile, what would my starting plane be? And it can be different for different models. It can be different for the same model. We could have 2 different experts start in a different place. And so the question is, how much time do you really want to spend looking at that 2D print when you know that your competitor is in there jumping in, and creating the geometry? It's like, well, maybe if I just spend a little more time coming up with a game plan, it'll set me up for later. But, maybe you end up losing the point if you do that.
Yeah, you weren't wrong about these getting more difficult as the competition went on. The more I look at it and I see like little intricate features, which, if you don't spot that, that's going to be easy to catch you out. So, yes. It'd be interesting to see how this progresses on.
Services Techniques Eric Guthier says, I think you have to analyze the model before starting modeling. And Onshape, I would model. And then I'm gonna just blitz this just in case it's considered a little bit too much of a tip for the runners. I think it's a great advice you're giving there, and I doubt that these guys, at this level, they're in the Elite 8. I doubt that they need any advice, but just in case, I'm just to kind of keep things on the level. No, I liked your comment, Eric. I wanted to start reading it, and I was like, oh wait, that might cross the line, but I like the comment. Thank you.
Yeah, they're both approaching this from quite a similar angle. They're going for that side profile, putting everything into one sketch rather than the sketch per feature approach. So this is going to result in quite a difficult sketch to get fully constrained, given how many angles there are in there and how many sort of holes there are to get right. So it's a similar approach by both of them, but I can see them both sort of getting into constraint. Well, what we call constraints in SolidWorks. You did tell me last time what SolidWorks constraints were called.
Mm-hmm. Sketch relations.
That's the one. Yeah. I can see GERBEN's now. He's trying to get those arcs patterned out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, looking good. You just got to get the angles right. Got to get the separation right.
I was chomping on an apple there. I don't know if you guys could hear that in the audio. Kind of interesting that Victor is modeling it. It almost looks like he's modeling it upside down. I don't know if that's a pro technique that I haven't learned yet. That's the trick to speed modeling. Just model everything upside down.
Well, which way is right up? Which way is the right way up? Because you've got one view where it's sort of on its backside, and then the other, the isometric. Actually, both isometric views, they're flipped. So I don't know which would be the right way up.
It's a great point. Very good point. So in a model like this, yeah, I mean, you've got to try to figure out how you're going to manage the geometry coming from several different angles. And, I think that this is one of these things where we're seeing both of the runners feeling that pressure, like you can tell they're both like, I just want to keep going. I just got to keep going. So
yeah,
this is going to be a good little matchup here.
And that side profile, it's so difficult. If you don't get the constraints right, whenever you place a dimension, the whole thing's just going to swing and go wild. So yeah, and in the high pressure environment, you can really struggle with that one. So
I like this comment from Bjors. He says, 0 idea on this one. I think it's awesome. I think that's probably how a lot of us feel when we see prints like this. But not our speedrunners. They were able just to get right in and start moving. Now we see GERBEN using some equations as part of this challenge. That's pretty tight. He's jumping right in. And we see that Victor on the left is trying to get through and create all the geometry that he needs for this. Almost looks like he's going with the model half approach. Vorst says, how did you get into SolidWorks? I got in a long time ago. I was just a little miniature Toby. I wasn't even the tallest one in my family yet. Back then. Okay. Things are different now.
I was sort of forced into using Inventor. I joined the CAD supplier thinking, I can just support AutoCAD, and then 3D took off in the mid 2000s. So I was kind of forced into it.
I actually came from a molecular biology and genetics background, and I wanted to do something different moving on with my life. And one of my mentors said, you may want to check out CAD modeling because you get to create your inventions, tangible inventions. I looked into it, and I've never looked back since.
Yeah. Who are some people that you guys watch on YouTube that are creating content? Is there anybody you want to give a quick shout out to? We'll do like 1 or 2 shout outs.
I rarely watch. I don't have time to watch much stuff. I'm usually just neck deep in making my own stuff, but I tend to watch a lot of hardware-based channels, tech channels. I used to watch a bit of Lars Christensen, who's a Fusion 360 guy.
Mm-hmm. I know Lars, good guy.
Yeah, he's worked his way through Autodesk. He's now in a completely different division, so his YouTube channel's pretty much dormant now. I don't think it's going to go much further. But Yeah, I watch a lot of tech stuff, the podcasts, just various different topics. So yeah, I don't follow as much in the engineering space as I really should.
Boy, look at this on the right. GERBEN, it looked like GERBEN was like way behind, and now it looks like he's almost done and getting ready to possibly, I don't know, he's doing a final spin, it looks like. This is so interesting. And man, Ivan exploits. Ivan must be just like giddy in his chair watching all these Ivan exploits that are going out. And we can talk about Ivan exploits maybe at the break here. But Victor coming in with an answer, 3-3-2. That is incorrect. That is not correct within tolerance. Victor comes in with an answer, 3-3-2. That is not correct within tolerance. So Victor has now burned off one of his answers. See, I'm trying to be on it now, Neil. You got me in line, bro.
Good job.
No, I appreciate it. And so Victor's now going to go through and try to figure out what is going on with this model, what he got incorrect. And we also have Josh Mays in the chat says, no matter what, Ivan wins this round. I completely agree with that. Philomathus making comments about all the Ivan exploits. Let's see here. Coming down to the wire, Philomathus says, yep, felt he was a runner in our tournament last week, or 2 weeks ago, last week. Goose L and family is in the house. What's up, Goose L? Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, New Forms Design in the chat says that he wanted to learn CAD, so he got a cracked copy of SolidWorks off a Russian website. Which, to be fair, it's a good it's a point that needs addressed. Really, there's a lot of CAD software that doesn't have easy access into it.
Okay, wait, Victor coming in with a revised answer here. Sorry for cutting you off, Neil. Victor answers 3-3-3. That is incorrect. Incorrect. So Victor has now burned off both of his potential answers, and that means that GERBEN, the door is now open to GERBEN. Let me get the 5-minute timer going here for GERBEN. I know he's almost at the end, but Victor, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. Both of your answers were incorrect. So Victor's first answer, 3-3-2, incorrect. Victor's second answer, 3-3-3, incorrect. Victor says, wanted a sudden death for extra pressure. So he's immediately jumping into the chat and letting us know. There's now a 5-minute timer on GERBEN. GERBEN has 5 minutes to come up with the correct answer. He can guess an incorrect answer once, and then he can guess a correct answer once. If he gets it incorrect twice, or if he runs out the 5-minute clock, then there will be no winner. This will be a push, and we'll move on to the next challenge. Don't worry, I got plenty of models. I have been modeling, it feels like nonstop for the past week, so don't worry. Man, look at yours. I like Tech 3D so much since he seems to be the only one who makes inventor contact. There you go, Neil. You're the only one, bro. What a nice comment from yours.
Yeah, I'm getting back on it now.
Yeah, everybody loves that you're doing the tutorials again.
Yeah,
that's what's up. Hey, bro, if you ever want to collaborate, we can make it happen. The three of us. We get you and me come up with something cool. Rafael could show us how to make a mechanism for the inside, then explain how it all works. I think that would be clutch.
Yeah.
Okay, bring it home, GERBEN. Shap Pipe Soy says, bring it home, GERBEN. Bring it home, GERBEN. I believe in GERBEN. Our men. I believe in GERBEN. 3 minutes and 36 seconds. No pressure. Crazy round. GERBEN can pull this one off. That's what just another Google user says.
I'm looking at the chat here, and Mohammed asks, how do you get a job with SolidWorks? And my answer would be win one of Toby's tournaments, and you can put that on your resume.
Yeah.
No higher accolade.
Yeah, we got to make those official. Yeah, exactly. Official, like LinkedIn accomplishments or whatever they're called.
Certifications.
Yeah.
Yeah, GERBEN's just taking his time now. I think he's just pressure's off a little bit. Just evaluate what you've got, look at the drawing, just do some checks.
He's going through it.
We've got 2 shots at it.
Man, this is intense. This is definitely intense. Let's see if we missed any other clutch chat here earlier. Don't forget, guys, if you guys are enjoying this, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to fully define that like button. You're supposed to come up with something clever to say when you tell somebody to smash the like button. I can't think of anything. Be sure to left click on the like button. That's as clever as I would get.
Constrain the like button.
Guys, LMB on that like button if you like. LMB.
Fine. If this is what the model's like in the last 8, what do you got for the final?
yeah. I'm gonna be like, here's a Aston Martin. Go.
Yeah.
Plus or minus 2 grams. Alrighty. Oh, Victor, nice. Gesture your mouse button on that like button. Gesture your mouse to that like button. Yeah, I like that. Andrew Lowe, challenge accepted. Nice. Alrighty. 90 seconds left, Gerben. 90 seconds.
I have to build a starship for the final.
Our surface features not typically used for these competitions because they are more for curves. That's basically it, Goose. You know, I got to give them a 2D print that's like very explicit as far as what I'm looking for. It's a lot harder to do that when you have swoopy, lofty stuff. But surfaces are always welcome, and I know that Andrew Lowe, even if it's just a brick, he'll probably model it as 6 surfaces and then knit them together and turn it into a solid.
Yeah, you've got to, like we said last one, you've got to be mindful as well of what CAD programs have which functions.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you've got to keep it general.
Here we go, 45 seconds. He's going to make sure that he's got it perfect. This is what you got to do. This is more like the speed that I would do it at. I'd be like 1 feature at a time, making sure.
Yeah, he's shown the benefit of the 3D mouse that he's using as well. He's just able to sort of drop a sketch down, look at it from a certain angle, and then just with a 3D mouse, just flip it around to the optimum place to view what you're doing.
Okay, 15 seconds. Man, this is really coming down to the wire. Here we go. 7 seconds. What's it going to be, Gerben? Is he going to run it out? 3, 2. Oh, not the result I was expecting. Gerben has run out the clock. And unfortunately, that means that there is not going to be a winner for this one. Gerben has run out the clock. He was not able to submit a correct answer. He didn't submit it, right? I didn't see it. Nothing came in. We were all watching, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, and Gerben comes in with an answer, 327, which is the correct answer. But unfortunately, it is after the time. So no win for Gerben. 327 was the correct answer, but just took about 4 seconds too long. Wow. Man, okay. All right.
It's like the buzzer went off, he shot it, and it still went in, but it doesn't count.
Yeah. I mean, it was, at that point, it's just tough. He says, man, these parts are a little bit tough. A little bit tougher. Okay, so that one was a push. Let me just make a note of that. And we're going to go on to the third match between these Titans. I was definitely not expecting that as an ending. What did you guys think about that? What do we think in the chat? We still want to give these guys a good game in the chat. Let's make sure we give them a GG. The rule enforcer is harsh. It is true. It is very much true. The rule enforcer is here. That's what they call him. It was
interesting to see as well. Gerben went for a totally different design on the part as well, because the arc wasn't sort of central. He sort of angled it and switched it out a bit, so it would be in the same volume, but he just approached it from a completely different direction. I thought it was quite interesting. Good, clever approach.
Yes, indeed. I mean, let me ask you something, Rafael. Are you familiar with the Ivan exploit, the idea of the Ivan exploit?
I am not.
So the Ivan exploit is basically when we've got 3D CAD and we've got 2 parallel faces. If you're doing an extrude, whether it's a boss extrude or a cut extrude, it really doesn't matter where the geometry is located as long as the shape is correct. The shape and size are correct. Location doesn't really matter. So for example, if you're punching holes through 2 parallel faces, it doesn't matter if you put those holes in the correct location because you're going to be removing the same amount of volume. So you're going to get the same mass in the end. This is what's called the Ivan exploit because in the, I think it was in the first tournament or maybe the second tournament, Ivan did this live during the tournament. I had 4 counterboard holes meticulously dimensioned, and he just went pop, and just put them all right in a row and moved on with that feature. So instead of taking a minute to make that feature, he did it in like 10 seconds. And that's what's known as the Ivan exploit. When you create mass in the incorrect location, but it is the correct size and shape, you're going to still get the correct answer, and it's just an exploit that occurs in this tournament. And, you know, it is what it is. What do we do about it? As the model creator, I try to go through and make models that thwart the Ivan exploit. I'll create, you know, drafted faces so that the faces aren't parallel to one another, or I'll create, you know, a curve on the back of the geometry, something like that. But sometimes they still find them. I noticed that, you know, some of these guys are very clever. They almost spend more time finding the Ivan exploit than they would just modeling the part straight.
So the guy that started this, his name is Ivan?
Well, Ivan was the first one to do it in a live tournament. When I was creating the models in the old days and auditing the models, I kind of had a feeling that was a potential exploit, but I didn't say anything. I wanted to wait and see who would actually do it live, and Ivan was the first person to do it live, and so he went down, infamy. The Ivan exploit was then born.
Well, one thing you could maybe do, it might add too much complexity, is in addition to the volume, is get the contestants to mark down the location of the center of gravity in respect to sort of the central point of the model.
Yeah, so I thought about that, and it's a great suggestion. The problem is that then we are giving away too much strategy, because we basically have to tell them where the origin is and how the part is oriented. So how do we do that without giving away too much strategy? That's the problem.
What if a requirement is that all dimensions need to be constrained?
They don't, though. Like, how many times have you done a cut extrude where you can just like drag the line out to the side and leave it under defined? So it's an interesting conundrum. I think, you know, like any competition, there's always got to be balance, and there's always going to be people who push the exploits. Like in 4-minute work week, they talk about that a lot. Or is that what's called, 4-minute work week? They talk a lot about that. He talks about how he like exploited martial arts or sumo type of a thing where he became the world champion. He talked about how the first person who ever did the high jump, that was going over it backwards was an exploit. So when the high jump was in the Olympics originally, people would always go over it with a scissors kick, and then eventually somebody came along and said, what if you went backwards? And that was an exploit. So this is just always how we push things in competition. So I'm all for it. I love the Ivan exploit. I'm gonna get a shirt that says Ivan exploit everything. Ivan exploit my coffee. All right, here we go, guys. Chat's lighting up. Everybody's ready. Josh Mays says this is interesting. One person thinks this is interesting. Everybody else is like, all right, let's go. Let's see some more action here. So we know about our runners, right? We know Victor. He works on multiple projects at once. We know GERBEN. He's the absolute speed demon in the world of Inventor. These guys are ready. I'm ready. You guys are ready. Let's go. Here we go. This next challenge goes live in 3, 2. Wait, hold on. I'm not on the right screen here. I got distracted by Victor. Victor says 137 people watching. That's awesome, Victor. Let's go. Let's get our like count up to 100. If you guys want to see the next match, hit the like button. Left mouse button on the like button. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Go. What is the mass of this part in x.xxx pounds? I'm sorry that we're doing so many in pounds here in the beginning. It was random. Tolerance of this is plus or minus 0.003 pounds. It is an IPS. The material is 1060 aluminum. Density is 2,700 kilograms per cubic meter. The lid is thin-walled, but the little hinges are solid. Our runners both have grabbed a screen capture. They are both starting. They are both creating the same rectangular shape. Looks like on the top plane. They're both kind of going for this with a similar strategy. I think this one, compared to the first two, a little bit more straightforward. I think most of us would probably create this using the same order of features, but there are going to be some opportunity for deviation. We'll see what these guys come up with.
First thought looking at that was that's a lot simpler than the last one, but I can already see a bit of a gotcha kind of point on some part of the model, which is potentially going to catch people out. But
we'll see. We'll see how clever they are, right?
Probably a bit of light relief for the contestants to attack this one. I think the brains are probably just melting after that last model.
It was intense. That last model was pretty darn intense. So yeah, we're gonna give them a little bit of a break here. Let's go. All right, we got the likes up to 82. That's what I like to see. Don't forget to left click that left mouse button on that like. I'm still working on my material here.
I can see GERBEN's going for the shell approach, shelling out the main body first, whilst Victor is he's building up the bulk of the. Well, Victor's going have at it.
Yeah.
Full model first before attacking that inner cavity, ladies.
Gerben is pulling no punches. Armen says, Gerben pulling no punches. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Services, techniques. Eric, you are correct. There's no reason for that timer to be there. Whoops. Here we go. Thank you. That was a misclick by me. These guys probably don't even need 5 minutes. They're going so fast on this thing. Let's see. They've both created the lid. I think it looks like Victor actually did sneak in that hollowing out of that lid. I didn't even notice it, Neil.
He's done it. Oh, okay.
For your comment, but yeah, I think he's already done it. I saw him just rotate a moment ago, so he's got it. Yep, he's got it in there. And here we go. Now we get to see kind of an interesting approach on how to create that gotcha area. They're both neck and neck. Man, this is the real neck and neck sprint here. They're both going for it. They're both trying to come up with this feature that we're seeing them put in here, this kind of angular section of the hinge.
Yeah, Gerben's going for what looks like sketched extrusion approach rather than using a 3D feature for it, which is perfectly valid. Perfectly valid to go that way.
And we see what we call the final spin over on Victor's screen. And let's see what he comes up with here. And holy smoke, these guys are so fast.
Oh, yeah.
And Victor comes in with an answer, 1.406 pounds. And that is correct. And wow. Wow. Guys, give it up for Victor. Moving on to the final four. Holy smokes, that was intense. My goodness. Wow. And guys, give it up for Gerben. Gerben is our former champion. A champion has fallen. Unfortunately, he completely crushed in every single round so far. But he came up against the unstoppable force that is Victor. Wow.
That little cat's funny.
That is the victory cat. That is the victory cat that we give to the person who advances. And we are going to give victory to Victor for that incredible performance. But holy smokes, that was intense. Look at that. We went all the way through to all 3 rounds. We got to give it up for Victor. God, the chat is going crazy. Oh my goodness, that was so intense. Guys, give a GG to both of our runners. I want to say thank you so much to Gerben for being a part of this tournament, for being a part of the previous tournaments, our former champion, absolute speed demon, and great to have you on the show. And thank you so much, Gerben. And huge congratulations to Victor, who is going to move on in this tournament into the Final Four on December 3rd. And wow. Man. Neil, I got to say thank you as well for all those insights on Inventor and for all the great content you put out there. What did you think? Any final thoughts on that matchup?
Victor absolutely slayed that. That was quite impressive to watch. Some good models. That last one really hopefully gives a good insight as to how things are going to progress on through to the final. But yeah, Inventor's down. No more Autodesk in the game. We've just got SolidWorks and Onshape left. So yeah, it's ramping up to be a good finale. But yeah, well done to both the guys, Gerben and Victor. Gerben was just about there on the first one. Second one, just couldn't quite get there. And then the third one, I think he got himself an answer just towards the end. But yeah, coming up against Victor and the speed that he was just plowing through, unstoppable.
Yes. Well, that was intense. Let me ask you a question, Neil. You noticed that the hinge on that last part had a little bit of an angle on it. What do you think about that? I had that 10-degree angle on each side of the hinge. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the speed modeling scenario, the way Gerben went across it was the best way was to just do it through a sketch. I mean, you can mess on with draft features and tapered extrusions as much as you want, but you'll probably end up hitting all kinds of geometry issues with that, which in the real world you can, right, if doing it in a 3D feature is the best way of doing it, you can dedicate that time to just trial and erroring things. But
let's go a little deeper though. Why do you think that 10-degree draft was on that feature?
Because it's easy to miss for a start.
Nope.
No.
What do you think, Rafael?
That's an
exploit thwarter.
Oh.
That's when you see those little when you see those little drafted faces, that's me saying, hey, no Ivan exploits here. You can't just drop that hole anywhere. It has to be in the right spot or else you're going to take away or leave too much mass.
Yeah.
So that's your thought for the week, Neil. I want to thank you so much for being a part of this. Great seeing you guys. Put a 1 in the chat if you've enjoyed watching Neil today. Be sure to check out youtube.com/tech3dworld to get some great tips and tricks from Neil. And thank you so much, Neil. And
thank you so much, and good luck to the rest of the contestants.
Yes. This is pretty epic, guys. Huge congratulations to Victor. We're going to see him again on the Final Four on December 3rd, 10 o'clock a.m. And with that, we are going to move into the blue bracket. We're going to move over here to the blue bracket, and we're going to introduce a special guest here, none other than Michael LaFleche. Mike, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm having more fun than a human being is supposed to have.
Man, that was a pretty darn epic matchup. Inventor expert versus SolidWorks expert. First round goes to Victor. Second round is a push. GERBEN was there 5 seconds, not more than 5 seconds late on that second round. It was right there, so close. And then the third round, they were neck and neck the entire time, and Victor was able just to smoke through that model. Whew, that was intense.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't believe how close it was. It was really close. That last round was just like fire. It was like they were done before I could even catch up to myself. It was fantastic.
Bang, 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 bang. Yeah, all the way through. Man, and Neil is in the chat. Guys, Tech3D is in the chat if anybody wants to say hi to Neil. It's always great having people from different CAD systems, and that's why we're very thankful to have you here, Mike. Mike is from the wonderful world of Onshape. He's an Onshape expert, but he's also a certified SolidWorks expert, kind of in a former life, right?
That's right. Yeah. Been using CAD for a long time.
Yeah, and I mean, it's so nice to have somebody who knows both CAD packages. You're basically the perfect person to do co-commentary today, because we've got a SolidWorks person going against an Onshape person. And he's the director of technical content at Onshape and also a co-host of a podcast, the Innovators Insider podcast. Huge shout out to Richard Doyle, your partner in crime on that podcast and a friend who I've known for a long time. So, and it's funny about Richard. I was thinking about Richard this week. I was actually talking to my wife about Richard, and what I said to her was, I used to go to the different presentations that Richard would do about drawings, and he would talk about how, like, sometimes when he finishes a drawing, it's like, wow, this is a work of art. Like, this is just, everything looks good. It's easy to read. It flows when you're doing the manufacturing or whatever. Like, everything's just in the right spot. And I never understood what he was talking about. I was like, I don't do enough drawings. Like, I don't care. That sounds lame. But after this week, doing some of these complicated drawings and having to, like, put dimensions in just the right spots, I thought about him a lot. I was like, now I understand what Richard was talking about. Like, it is true. Sometimes I finish these drawings and I go through and, like, test the model, and I'm like, that's a good drawing right there. Like that first one that we saw, or the second one that we saw, the spool base that we saw earlier, the one with those multiple radii, that was a drawing like that. Like,
right, yeah. I mean, it's like plating a meal, right? Do you want to just throw it on the plate, your beautiful food, or do you want to have it like placed in a nice way and have the 5-star Michelin restaurant experience?
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to go 5-star, baby. Yeah, make sure you guys give me 5 stars on the app. All right, here we go.
Right now, I'm checking out the Innovators Insider podcast that Michael does. I think it's pretty cool. I'm gonna subscribe.
Yeah, very cool. You guys are both fellow podcasters, huh?
That's right. I do that being an engineer podcast. Yeah.
What do you think is different about doing a podcast compared to being on this show here today?
Well, the podcast is, I mean, both are extremely fun, but the podcast is really, I mean, I can't really describe the difference. It's really the same amount of level of fun, Toby. Nice. I mean, I'm trying to think of something different, but I'm struggling.
How about you, Rafael? Any differences you can think of?
Well, now we got the camera on, so in the podcast, the camera is not on. So I just want to make sure I don't make any weird faces on the live stream.
Yeah.
So that's the only difference, really.
Yeah, the trick is whenever you're on camera and you're on a live stream, you just got to smile the whole time. That's the trick. That's the biggest thing, is that, like, sometimes I watch these matchups and I'm just like, and then I watch the recording and I'm like, what was I doing? But I was just so enthralled, so I couldn't like remind myself. So you just gotta smile the whole time. That's it. Just smile, smile, smile. All right, guys. Well, here we go. Let's see here. We're going to get into our next matchup. I want to thank you so much for being here, Michael, and calling the action for Alnis versus WALRUS Gumboot. Now, do you know Alnis? I know he's pretty big in the Onshape community.
Yeah, I mean, Alnis, you know, the first time I had heard of Alnis, I had just gotten a text message from John McElhaney, who illustrious, you know, Onshape founder, former SolidWorks CEO. And he was watching this speed modeling competition by Alnis, and he couldn't get over it. He was just texting me like, this is like the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And that was my first interaction with Alnis, and he's never disappointed in any interaction I have ever seen with him. He always impresses.
That's epic. What was the speed modeling contest? Was it this one?
I think it was a Richard Doyle user group meeting. He was showing off, you know, some of your speed modeling type techniques.
Oh, he was playing the recording?
I think he was actually doing one live.
Oh, nice. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, just himself showing how he does things. So that, I believe, was like my first interaction with Alnis, and it's been awesome ever since.
Now, one of the things that we were talking about in the chat earlier, and Neil started talking about, I remember I interrupted him, but he was talking about different CAD solutions and which ones are free and which ones aren't. And I know that this is something that a lot of people are asking about in the chat is like, is this free? Is this free? Is this free? So maybe I could just ask you that about Onshape. Is Onshape free? Yeah,
you can use Onshape for free. Just you can go to onshape.com/free. You can totally use Onshape for free. All the documents are public on the free platform. That's the only word of advice. And of course, you can buy Onshape, if you want to have private data and extended functionality.
Would you be able to create some of the models that we've seen in this competition so far today?
100%.
With the free one?
Yes.
That's cool. And like for like Model Monday Live, on Mondays, a lot of times I do a live stream where we do something similar. We challenge the chat to create these models. Using the free version, they'd be able to participate in that too.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay, well, there you go, guys. There's at least one that I know of that is free, that you can get out there. I don't know all the details of some of the other CAD packages, so I don't want to speak outside of school. But Rafael, how about you? Have you ever used Onshape?
I have not.
Okay, so this will be your first. Well, you haven't used it. Have you seen it before? Do you kind of know what the interface looks like?
I've seen it at this medical device event called MD&M West, held in California, Anaheim. And they had a huge booth from Onshape.
Okay, nice.
I was there. I think I remember that.
And what would you say, Michael? With all your experience between Onshape and SolidWorks, what would you say is the one biggest difference between Onshape and SolidWorks?
It's really how data flows, right? Instead of managing C:\file references, you're kind of like in a Google Docs style world almost, where you can just kind of work. You don't have to worry about your files at any time. You just sign in and go, and you start modeling. You can share with each other very easily. But the flow of how you actually draw things, quite similar to what you'd see in SolidWorks, Inventor, Creo, all of the other kind of major systems.
Okay, cool. So, and then of course the other thing would be that you don't have to install any software, right?
Yeah, it's a nice benefit.
Yeah, I can see that being beneficial. Sometimes I see people in different message boards saying like, "Oh, this didn't work. Couldn't install it. Didn't have the right, this. Didn't have the right that." So, all right, cool. Well, that was just the right amount of time that I needed to do some background work here. So I think we're ready to move on, guys. If you guys are excited to see this matchup between Onshape and SolidWorks, be sure to hit the like button. And we got 100 likes. We got 133 people watching. Let's try to get those numbers matched up. I'm very excited to see these guys running. Let's learn a little bit about our competitors. Alnis versus WALRUS Gumboot. So as we mentioned, Alnis is an Onshape user, and he uses Onshape on a Linux system. So that's kind of cool too. You're not limited to one single operating system when you're working in a browser-based environment. He's studying applied physics and oceanography at the University of Washington. The only reason I'm smiling is because Alnis has such a young spirit, and he is a young man to begin with, but he also has a very young spirit. And so I'm always so impressed with all his accomplishments at such a young age. And he also leads the student teams building satellites and underwater robots. So very, very nice, Alnis. And let's take a look at WALRUS Gumboot and see what he's been up to. With 11 years under my belt, I'm still feeling like a relatively new SolidWorks user. Well, you made it to the Elite 8, bro. So you're doing something right. And Walrus Gumboot also says,
Mm-mm.
I enjoy spending time with my wife and family when we can get together. Yes, I feel like I have to fight that battle a lot too, just finding time to get together, but it's well worth it. Hey guys, got any final thoughts before we get into this match?
No, good luck to everybody. I mean, this is going to be great.
Rafael, any final thoughts?
Well, when I saw 11 years under his belt, I can relate in the sense I've been doing SolidWorks for 5 years. And just when you feel like you got the hang of it, you learn of a new feature, something goes wrong, and you learn something more.
Yeah, for sure. I've learned a lot. Just watching all these guys, I've learned a lot. So, all right, well, I'm excited to call this action. Looks like we're going to have Alnis on the left. So for our co-commentators, make sure that you set up your screen. So you got Alnis on the left. And we've got Walrus Gumboot, Jed Hightower on the right. And Tom Smith is in the chat and says 25 years and still learning. That's awesome. And we got people cheering for Alnis, and Alnis is even taking the time before his match to thank those people who are cheering for him. So good luck. Good luck to Jed. Good luck to Alnis. Here we go, guys. I think we're ready for our next CAD versus CAD matchup in this Elite 8 showdown. Let me flip over. Hold on one sec. Make sure that I'm good here. Yep. Let me flip over to our full screen PowerPoint here. And we are going to start this next CAD battle in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? Tolerance plus or minus 2 grams. Material, plain carbon steel. Density 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. This part is called Odd Wrench, and it is in MMGS. Both of our runners are taking a screen capture and beginning the model, so let's flip over and see what they come up with. So here we go.
I love this part. This part is a really nice part. Yeah, I love drawings with like a cross section of like a ribbed area like that. You know, back to the like art of drawings.
Yes,
like
indeed.
I remember like that was my favorite type of like hand drawn drafting view back in the day.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words, and very thankful that we have such great drawings in this tournament, and very thankful to have both our competitors here. Alnis on the left, using an entire browser-based 3D CAD environment known as Onshape. If you've never seen Onshape before, you can see what it looks like here. You can see how he's able to create these 3D models. We got Walrus Gumboot on the right, using traditional SolidWorks with a dark theme. Always love the dark theme. Alnis also using a dark theme for his browser. Everybody uses dark theme. That's what it's all about. And looks like on the right, we got Walrus Gumboot creating that kind of a circular cylindrical shape. On the left, we got Alnis, who created that cylindrical shape and now has moved on to the, I guess I would call that kind of like a tombstone shape for that other end.
Yeah, it's taking like a multi body technique here, it looks like. You know, it's going to start with each side, it looks like. Looks like Walrus has got a good, well-defined sketch. Looks like he's going to take the same approach, it looks like, as well. Yeah, Alnis getting into a pretty detailed sketch here. You know, adding radii right in here. Using the nice trim tool. We updated the trim tool recently to kind of have like that buzzsaw effect. You know, it's one of my favorite things back when I was a SolidWorks person. You know, I love that power trim tool.
Power trim, yeah, that's cool.
Exactly.
It's good to know that you got something similar in Onshape.
Exactly.
And we see Walrus Gumboot on the right doing more of like a layout approach, looking down on this thing from the top. I know the image I have, it's shown a little bit more upright, but if you imagine that image is laid down on its side, a little bit more like the print, and he's kind of looking down on it from a top view and creating those, creating that geometry looking down from the top. So both techniques solid here. We'll see which one pays off in the end, kind of going with the layout more or just kind of creating all the geometry first.
Yeah, there's a lot of tricky little geometry in this one, Toby. I'll give you props on this one. You know, this one's very detailed. At first glance, you know, it did not look this complicated, but I'm seeing the detail being put in here. It's working out pretty well here.
And we got our friend CAD Skills here. He puts up some really good tutorials on furniture design in 3D CAD. So shout out to CAD Skills, and welcome. And let's see here what else we got. We got Josh Mays. I was going to do the sweep first. Anybody else? Yeah, maybe. Because these guys are deep enough in that it doesn't matter if we're giving them advice.
I think if you started with the suite first, that would give me an idea of like the CAD user's age, because back in the day, you couldn't do like multi-body, modeling, right? It'd have, everything had to be completely connected, 20 years ago. But most CAD systems now allow you to kind of take this method.
Yep. I like Alnis there was using the, his sketch was underdefined, and so he grabbed a point and moved it around. That's actually part of my song about fully defining your sketches. If you're still underdefined, grab a blue point, move it around, see what you come up with, and
check it out. It's like Taylor Swift song,
Yeah, she wanted to buy rights to it, but she couldn't afford what I was asking.
So I've never seen Onshape, but I have seen X Design on the cloud, and it reminds me of that a little bit.
Well, this is a different program, and it's definitely got some cool features, and I didn't see any X Design runners in the tournament this year, so who knows? Maybe in the future they'll have the chops to enter. We'll see what happens, I guess.
The more different CAD systems we see on this, Toby, the better. I think it's really an awesome way of understanding some of the differences between the platforms. Totally.
And we got Marty in the chat. What's up, Marty? He says absolutely awesome. All right, thank you. That's a wonderful praise.
Wouldn't it be cool if the CAD packages actually sponsored the contestants if they win?
we gotta get them patched up for sure. Because it's gonna end up happening.
And this is only the beginning. I mean, just think 10 years from now what the CAD esports scene will be like.
It's gonna, we're gonna need security for sure. So it looks like we got Alnis on the left here going through, like you said, creating the sweep path later rather than earlier in the design. I love the way you said that, Michael, that maybe that would indicate how many years the runner has under their belt. I think there's probably a lot of truth to that, but we see that Alnis is looking like he's got his path, looking like he's got his profile. Now he's just trying to figure out where that other feature is going to land.
Yeah, this is a nice layout technique. You're using the sketch as the way to dry, to kind of pin everything down, and then everything kind of goes more smoothly, by having those nice stable references.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I did that a lot in the earlier challenge with that spool base that had all those radii. I definitely was using just making a simple layout that had those 4 arcs on it, and then making 4 independent features afterwards referencing those arcs. I think it's usually a good technique. Like you said, if you want to keep things stable. I like the way you use that word, stable.
Yeah, it's just one of the first things. And when I was a CAD instructor back in the day, that was like the thing that resonated most when I was teaching SolidWorks and back in the day, and now, of course, at Onshape.
And we got all day here in the chat. Good friend. Got to meet him in Texas during the Texas road trip with SolidBox. So shout out to all day. What's up? What's up? Says all the best to all the champions. And says he was an hour late here. Yeah, I was really freaking out about daylight savings over the past few weeks, and absolutely wanted to get it pinned down, and was checking and rechecking to make sure I had it right. So that's the risk of running a tournament that spans both before and after daylight savings changes. You have to figure out where you're going to pin it to. And I just decided to pin it directly to GMT, and that way it was consistent. You don't have to worry about that, right, Rafael? You don't have daylight savings.
I'm not sure, honestly. I wake up and whatever my iPhone says, I just go with it. But I wanted to give you a lot of credit to Toby, because orchestrating this whole thing, the audio, the video setup, you're a machine. You're a studio, one-man show.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Odd Wrench. We have Alnis coming into the chat here with an answer, 1521, and that is correct.
All
right.
I gotta get some. I gotta get some sound effects here so that when somebody gets it. When I had Kirby and Johnny in here, they had their sound effect machine. There we go. Yeah, Mike. Thank you.
A round of applause.
Yes. Perfect.
For both contestants.
Wow. Cool. Nicely done to Alnis. He gets the odd wrench created in time, and that is going to give him a point. Guys, give a GG in the chat to Alnis as well as to Walrus Gumboot.
Good game to both.
Yeah,
and Alnis is still he's going in now and even updating the names of the documents.
Yeah.
Tabs, and he's keeping organized.
A lot of times Alnis will take these models and then throw them up on the Onshape share so anybody can view them and download them, which is it's just pretty cool. I like the way he does that. A lot of times he'll make additional content. So guys, be sure to check out Alnis's YouTube, and you can see some cool Onshape stuff You can probably just search for like Too Tall Toby Onshape, and then you'll find his videos. So GG to the winner, GG to both of the runners. Everybody's in the chat saying awesome job, Alnis.
What does GG stand for?
Good game, good game.
Oh, okay.
That's what you say when you lose a huge poker tournament online. Like, punch your monitor, and then you say GG, and then you just walk away forever. All right, guys, let's see what else we know about these runners. Let's learn some more. Alnis also makes video games and CAD tutorials for fun, and he is a Latvian in the United States. That's awesome. Guys, let us know in the chat where you're watching from. We got people from all over the world. Type in the name of the country. Don't give us your actual GPS location. Just country is good. And we also learned that Jed likes taking his Jeep off-roading and looking for reasons to buy more mods for his Jeep. And he was a vocalist in several local bands from age 17 to the mid to late 20s. Guys, Michael, Rafael, take a look at the chat, see where people are coming from, give them some shout outs. I'm going to get us set up for the next round.
Yeah, we got like all sorts of global, Scotland, Ohio, Texas.
España.
Wow.
España, Spain.
Yeah. Bangladesh, Croatia. I mean, this is totally global. We got Pakistan, Belarus, Russia. I mean, we got the whole world is here.
This is what's up. This is how you spend a
Orders
Saturday.
mean nothing in your tournament, Toby.
It's true. All are welcome, man. That's my tagline for the tournament, for the live streams. All are welcome. Nobody gets left out.
Yeah,
unless you're like a real jerk. If you're like a total jerk, then I'll ban you. But, that's based on who you are as a person.
Totally. I mean, every time zone in the world is represented here.
Let's go.
The Kiwis down here in New Zealand. We're seeing Cyprus. I mean, my gosh.
Yeah.
This is a huge
Mexico in here.
Alrighty. Well, I think that we are good here. So, guys, let's see some more of this epic Onshape versus SolidWorks matchup. Here we go. Lebanon, South Africa. Bucks is here. What's up, Bucks? Welcome. Good to see you in here again.
Bojo, Eric.
Yep, we got so many people in here. Here we go. All right, let's go. Next matchup, next epic CAD matchup is going to begin here. As soon as we finish this countdown, let's flip over to full screen. And here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? Tolerance plus or minus 1 gram. Note the tangent note in magenta, and in the lower left, hidden lines removed from some views for clarity. Note that the part is called fork arm, 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter because it is plain carbon steel. This part is in millimeters. Both of our runners have already grabbed this print and are coming up with a game plan, kind of looking over the print, and let's flip over and see what that game plan yields. We got WALRUS GUMBOOT on the right, jumping in there, creating a circle. We got Alnis on the left, jumping in there, creating a circle. So interesting how frequently we see multiple CAD experts begin with the same technique. Something that I really enjoy about this tournament. CZYZLO says, super happy to have stumbled onto this. Well, we are super happy to have you here today, and welcome.
How did you stumble onto this? That would be my question.
Yeah. Maybe the algo is working. Hopefully. We're hoping that it's working. By stumble onto it, he means like, I just got sick of ignoring the 50 LinkedIn posts that Toby created this week.
I like the approach that Walrus is taking. Nice, simple extrusions to start here. Taking, not overcomplicating the sketch. I find that to be still a very good technique to avoid getting into trouble.
Yes. Keep it simple, right?
Exactly.
Keep your sketches simple. Cuss. K-U-S-S. Wait. K. I don't know.
I love the cuss.
Singapore. What's up, BDM? Singapore. Welcome.
Let's see. We got Alnis already has the second and middle piece here being built up here. Tombstone shape kind of coming in.
Yeah, this is
the pop-up toolbar too. The S key is both available in SolidWorks and Onshape.
Yeah, stop.
Almost taking advantage of that. Yeah, you can program the S key to do whatever you want.
You're gonna make me a convert.
Hey,
That's my jam, the S key. I gotta make a song about the S key. I think that's gonna be the second track on my album.
awesome. Yeah, you got to build up a whole greatest hits album.
Yeah,
You're gonna go platinum.
yeah, one song every 10 years. So it's gonna be a lifetime masterpiece.
They're classics.
Love the S key. Yeah, Eric's in there.
Yeah, we got
The entertainment is here from India. What's up? What's up?
see contestants entering values in using equations in the dialogue as they're adding their dimensions in. I see on the SolidWorks side here, we've got some multi-directional extrusion techniques being taken advantage of.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about Jed is that a lot of times, Walrus Gumboot, is that a lot of times he does take advantage of the, one single sketch kind of laying out and then using it for multiple features. And it's really made me a believer. I mean, not just Jed, but a lot of the runners. That's technique I never really used too much. I felt like it left you with sketches that were just too darn complicated. But since watching the tournament, I've picked up some moves from these runners. It's one of the advantages of just being a spectator is that you're able to really learn some valuable techniques that you maybe never would have thought to use yourself. And
Alnis just did something pretty tricky here. He, when creating the mirror in his sketch here, he actually used the actual reference plane right there instead of having to draw another kind of construction line in the mirror about. So he just used the plane right in the middle of the model.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So he mirrored in sketch mode using a plane instead of using the center line, for example.
Exactly.
That's kind of cool. I like
One less
that.
thing.
And there's your trim.
There's your trim, right?
Yeah, we like that. And we got Jed on the right. It looks like he's moving through here, creating that second base that's coming up. It's always important to pick a good, solid location for your origin. And in the case of this print, there were a number of dimensions that were coming from that kind of lower circular boss area. So I think it makes sense that, Jed decided to use that as his origin location, and it's paying off now. All these dimensions are just able to drop right into place from that same origin location. So good, solid strategies. That's what I like to see. It's good to be fast, but it doesn't help if you're not accurate. You got to be fast and accurate.
Exactly.
And speaking of fast, look at Alnis on the left, kind of coming down the final approach here.
Dropping in a standard hole in here. Just dropping it in right on the center. No sketch needed. And it looks like an answer is going to be coming in shortly.
I'm scrambling to look at my answer key. I got to be ready for it if he comes in with it.
Yeah, this is close.
Okay, and so Alnis has come in with an answer of 8376, and that is the correct answer. So, yes, indeed, that is going to give the double win to Alnis. Congratulations, Alnis. Very, very nicely done. Very speedy on both of those models. Man, oh man, oh man. Alnis was just crunching through that. Woo!
Wow, he impresses again.
Yes.
Nicely done.
That's going to give Alnis the victory cat. It's going to give him the double win. It's going to allow him to move on to the final four. But we also got to give a huge shout out to Jed Hightower. Jed Hightower in the chat says, sigh of relief. So he was feeling a little overwhelmed, I guess, but feeling happy that it's over, right? So very nicely done to both of our runners. Wow, that was super, super impressive. And my goodness, guys, that was awesome. Guys in the chat, please give a GG, a good game to both of our runners. That was so well done from both of our runners. Congratulations to Alnis for moving on. Congratulations to Jed for making it to the round of 8, to the Elite 8 today. You both put up a spectacular performance, and thank you. And I want to say also, of course, that is going to end our match between Onshape and SolidWorks. So I want to give a huge thank you to Michael LaFleche for joining us today. Thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you.
So good having you here today. So good talking shop with you a bit. And thanks for being the co-host before as well. And I'm sure that I got a feeling you and me are going to do more podcasts and live streams and stuff together because we got some pretty good synergy.
100%. Yeah, we got to do some more stuff. So can't wait. Yeah,
all right,
thank
cool.
you. Yep.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Be sure to check out the Innovators Insider podcast with Michael and Richard Doyle. It's an excellent listen. And with that, we have Alnis moving on to the Final Four. So congratulations and great job, Alnis. Great job to Walrus making it all the way through to the Elite Eight. That was awesome, awesome, awesome. And guys, if you enjoy this type of content, please be sure to support the channel. There's lots of different ways you can support the channel. You can like and subscribe. We got 125 watching, 111 likes already. That's what I like to see. You can share and reshare. You can join the mailing list over at tootalltoby.com. You can support financially using Super Chat. There's a little $sign symbol down at the bottom of the chat. If you're enjoying what you're watching, if you're enjoying this kind of content, you want to see it keep going, it's a great way to support. You can also use Super Thanks if you're watching the recording, or you can hit me up at PayPal over at tootalltoby.com. And of course, these shirts are available on the merch store at tootalltoby.com, the technical tips and tricks shirts, so you can check that out. I'm going to take a real quick bio break here, a short intermission. So we got 2 more matches coming up. This is not over. Everybody stick around, but if you need to get up, please feel free to do so. If you don't want to get up, but you want to see some great practice models, check out my playlist of practice models where you can practice similar models to this. You can use Onshape or SolidWorks or any CAD system that you've got, Inventor, F360, whatever you've got. And with that, I think we're going to take a short intermission here. So let me bring up the intermission screen, guys, and we will be back in just a few minutes. Rafael, stick around. Chris Castle, you're coming in next, bro. Looking forward to hearing your commentary. So, and Mike, you can turn off your camera. Chris will turn on yours, and we'll get you guys going here in just a minute. Let's do this, baby. 3 tries. Took me 3 tries to get that right. Let's see here. Are we good, guys? Did I didn't flash anything, right? During that prep?
Nope.
Okay. Hopefully I didn't. We got a note from Rafael. Let me know in the chat, guys, if I flashed the print. Oh, shout out to Alnis. Sending in some super chat. Thank you very much. There was some other super chat that came in. Oh, shout out to Olive Dogs. Says, show Toby some love. Oh, I got all the love in the world for you, Olive Dogs. Thank you so much. And we got Victor K sent in some chat. Let's keep this thing going. Thank you so much, Victor K, for the super chat. That's what's up. And let's go. Think we're ready. Rafael, you feeling good?
Feeling good.
I'm feeling
ready
good.
to learn some more.
Okay. It looks like nobody is saying that we had any flashing of the prints, so hopefully that is the case. And I think we are ready to move on here. So I want to say thank you so much to everybody who's tuned in. Tech3D, thank you so much for the super chat, guys. Neil is in the chat if you want to talk to him. Michael is in the chat if you want to talk to him, our special guest co-commentators. And Rafael and I are holding it down here as we continue to move through this Elite 8 extra long live stream. Iron Man is in the chat, says, since when do you take breaks during a video? Sometimes, bro, you gotta, when you're going extra long, you gotta just get things ready for the next setup, We gotta make sure everything's gonna go smooth for these guys. So Iron Man says, we should get Alnis in here to co-commentate. Alnis is so smart, and he's got such a deep vernacular that he would probably say a bunch of stuff that goes way over my head. So I would just be listening and enjoy him. I would totally be down for that. Alrighty. Okay. Yep, I think we're good. Rafael's overlay is a little different. Yep, we'll fix that in a second. All right, guys. Intermission. Done with the intermission. Viewers. All right. Viewer says, donate a half of Tech3D's amount because I have half of his ability. Hey, man, I appreciate it. I think you have the biggest heart in the world, bro. Thank you so much, viewers. Appreciate it. All righty. Let's go. What are we doing in our next matchup here? We got the Elite 8. We're going into match number 3 here with Ricardo and Ivan the Reasonable, our friend from Brazil and our friend from Canada. And for this match, since it's SolidWorks versus SolidWorks, I wanted to invite my very special friend, Chris Castle, onto the live stream. What is up, Chris? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. So good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too, man. I haven't seen you really since the Texas trip, huh?
That was a great trip, man. It was
Yeah.
so good.
Thank you and the team from SolidBox for putting that together. If you're out there in the chat and you had the chance to come to any of those events, that was all Chris's doing and the SolidBox team. And so thank you, Chris, for putting that together. And it was just real cool hanging out with you too, being on the road and
Such a great time.
and playing music together.
Yeah.
That's a very special bond.
I know you. I heard you talk about the S-Key song, and I'm like, I was already thinking of like a verse for that song. I don't want to talk about it now, but maybe at the end we can talk about that. But I think that's definitely needs to be your next song. Yeah.
Okay. I'm in 100%. Let's go. We got this. S-Key is going to be the next big hit. Well, guys, Chris is a commercial pilot, an elite applications engineer, a professional engineer, PE, and he is also the founder and president of SolidBox and a SolidWorks and SolidWorks simulation expert, and many other skills. I know you were on Cribs once. You were on the RV version of Cribs. I know that you've done some hardware troubleshooting out in the desert. So you've got a lot of skills in your pocket there, Chris.
Oh man, it's good to be here. It's like there are so many talented people in this chat in this competition right now. It's really good. It's getting exciting. It's getting really exciting.
Yeah,
and,
this is
it was
pretty
great
darn
to see
intense.
Neil on here. You had Neil and you had Mike. I mean, this is it's getting big now. I like this.
Yeah, and it's great to have, experts from the different CAD systems. When we have this like CAD versus CAD wizard battle going down, it's always great to have some insights from people. Like Mike was able to point out a lot of stuff in Onshape that, I don't know about because I'm not an expert. And Neil was able to point out a lot of stuff in Inventor that I don't know about because I don't have that background. So it's great having people on here that have these solid backgrounds. And that's why I was excited to have you on and Rafael on with all your SolidWorks background for this SolidWorks versus SolidWorks matchup. So what do you think is going to happen in this one? We got Ricardo J versus Ivan the Reasonable. You know anything about these runners?
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing Ivan in the last few competitions, and he's very, very solid. His background, I think he does some fabrication, right? And And so I think he's got like that practical background where he knows like, oh, this is how I need to make this part, and kind of works backwards with the CAD software. And so, you know, that kind of background is always going to make you a strong speed modeler, I think. I was real sad to hear that one person say, you know, there's no honor in speed modeling. I'm like, man, if you do the job in half the time, I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
That's right. You were in here. I remember you were in there on that live stream. That was funny. Yeah. That was good. You know, I like it when there's battles. I like when people are kind of battling it out, trying to figure out what's going on in this world, you know, and when we have some villains in the chat. And so it's all good. I know it's all just in good fun, and it just keeps things exciting. So that's what it's all about here on this tournament. So
the one thing.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
if I may say, the one thing I know about Ivan is that he's not going to make any unreasonable decisions.
That's very true. He is Ivan the Reasonable, and I'm willing to bet that we're not going to see him fumbling around too much with his toolbars. That's my prediction for this match, is that Ivan will not be fumbling around with his toolbars. So we'll see if that prediction comes true here as we head down into the red bracket, where we've got Ricardo J, who advanced all the way through. His last match was against Neil Custard, one of the earliest SolidWorks users out there, but he was able to emerge victorious, going up against Ivan the Reasonable, former champion of this very tournament. We have GERBEN, who is a former champion who got knocked out earlier today. Now we got Ivan, who's a former champion. Let's see if he has any more luck than GERBEN did earlier when he gets into his big matchup against Ricardo J, CAD wizard from Brazil. Let's go. Ricardo J says, whoop, Jed, you can turn that off. Here we go. I'll try and fix that. There we go. So Ricardo J says, as much as it crashes too much, I really do love SolidWorks. So that's nice. I think a lot of us have been there, you know. And Ricardo J says, I realized in my entire life I spent more time with SolidWorks than with my own wife. Over 20,000 hours.
Oh.
Yeah. I think I could definitely track with that too. And we can see here that Ivan says his favorite color is orange. Okay, that's good to know. Very important CAD fact here. When I grow up, I want to play above average hockey. Okay, good aspiration there. And he says, I do not like ice cream. What do you think, guys? Put a 1 in the chat if you like ice cream.
He's Canadian, so the hockey one was a given. The ice cream thing, that's kind of weird, but we'll go with that. I mean, maybe he's got a really good, control over the health, and all that. So that's interesting. Also, lack of sugar, I think, will help you speed model a little faster, keep you,
That's true.
So I don't know.
That's true.
No sugar crash.
Yep. And we got Steve here in the chat. CTSUG, the Central Texas SolidWorks users group. We got to visit them on our tour, right, Chris Castle?
That's right. Hanging out with Steve and using the night mode on his camera. That was fun.
Yep. Yeah, night mode. Man, that's advanced. I gotta get that on my camera. All right, guys, let's do this. We're in the Elite 8 here. Barry says, who doesn't like ice cream? That's a great question. I think everybody likes ice cream. All right, here we go. We're gonna get into this matchup now. SolidWorks versus SolidWorks. We got Ricardo versus Ivan. Ricardo is going to be on the left, and Ivan is going to be on the right. So I think we are pretty much ready to get into this here, guys. Let's flip over to our full screen. And this CAD battle begins as soon as I show the 2D print. These guys are going to grab a screen capture and start modeling in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? Tolerance is plus or minus 1 gram. This is plain carbon steel, 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. It's called switch plate. Notice the magenta notes. The conical inside face is the same as the interior wall. It's all the same face. The side walls of that tombstone cutout are vertical. So these guys are going to have to look at that and figure out what that means. And let's flip over to this CAD versus CAD battle. We got Ricardo J on the left using SolidWorks with dark theme. We got Ivan the Reasonable on the right using SolidWorks with no toolbars. This guy doesn't use toolbars. He's got no toolbar, no command manager. He has the quick access bar at the very top, but that's it. Everything else is no toolbars. He just, look at him using the S key there to navigate through those features. Wow.
I've never seen that before.
I've never seen anything like this before. No toolbars for Ivan on the right. He doesn't need them. He says, I don't care about toolbars. Ricardo J has a bunch of toolbars all up around the screen. Ivan says, I don't need them.
But think about the benefit. You have more space to look at your model too, right?
I'm noticing here that, like, you've made an earlier comment about how everyone seems to start with the same type of feature. And with this Revolution, it looks like they're going to go with the Revolution. Yeah. But that's funny how they all kind of seem to pick that front face, front plane as their first view there. And you can see like with Ivan, he has a tendency, he can do a lot in like isometric view. So that's one thing I noticed about him, is that he's pretty good about, working from any view or angle in his user interface.
And on the flip side, we can see Ivan's using more of like the feature by feature approach, where on the left we've got Ricardo J kind of putting everything in that one sketch. And we've seen that when users use that technique, at first it seems like maybe they're behind, and then all of a sudden it's just like the whole model just comes together. And so we'll see how that pans out in this one as well.
Kind of goes back to the comment you made about the really beautiful drawing, like artwork, like Richard Doyle likes to say. It's true. I think if you've done a good job of detailing everything in like just one view, why not go with the contour, like the multi-contour sketch approach? I mean, that's what Mark Schneider always did at SolidWorks when he did his Model Mania, right? He would do so much with one sketch.
Yes, I completely agree. And I think it was something. I think it was actually, ironically, I think it was Ivan who was co-commentating that day, and we talked about it a little bit, and that's exactly what he asked as well. Like, why not use that? So now we see Ivan getting down to this feature on the right, where he's trying to create this cutout in the base of the switch plate here of this model. And this is where I think things are going to get interesting. And this is what I'm curious to see how both of our runners tackle that feature. Again, look at Ricardo on the left. We thought it looked like Ricardo was behind, and now they're just neck and neck. They're both on the exact same feature. So let's see what happens here.
I do like that shaded sketch contour mode in SolidWorks, so where you kind of know your sketch is closed. That's a pretty important thing. I do like that. I need to turn that back on. Oh, look at this. This is tight. These guys are definitely. Oh man, and you can't use the Ivan exploit at all with this one. I mean, on that those cuts. So.
Right. Yeah, interesting way to resolve that feature. I was curious how people were going to come up with that. Let's see what Ivan comes up with for this, but I thought that was really interesting, the technique that he used. I don't want to say it out loud, just because I know we still have another runner in here, but that definitely was a valid approach. It was indeed, Goose. Yes, it was. That's exactly what we're talking about here. It went by quick because this guy doesn't use toolbars, so you don't know where he's even pulling this functionality from. It's just like he's wizarding it up.
Maybe Ivan can sell his SolidWorks shortcut list to the crowd here, because what does he got here? Oh no, Ricardo struggling with that cut there a little bit.
That's a good technique that Ricardo's using there as well, though. Definitely both are valid, but I ran into the same thing that he was running into. And Ivan has come in with Ivan has come in with an answer, 2,500 grams, and that is correct. So that's going to give Ivan the first win. Nicely done, Ivan. Very, very speedy on that one. Delete face would work, and Ricardo J, the cut extrude up to face would work. You just have to do reverse direction because it's a cone. I ran into that same thing when I was auditing that part. You can get it to work, but you just have to do reverse direction, which is very awkward when you're going up to surface. Normally, you would never have to do that, but in that case, you do because it's completely a closed loop. But wow, GG to both of our runners. Insanely fast, Ivan. Yes, I agree completely. Victor says delete face for the win. Yes, Ivan employing a delete face technique in there. Very, very impressive. Nicely done, guys. Wow, that was fast. Man, what do you guys think? Post-game analysis.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one kind of shows you that the order of operations is really important, because that weird undercut cut that you end up with, struggling with there. If they maybe would have started with that bottom plate first, with that incorporating those like tombstone cuts, and then following it with the Revolution that does the outer perimeter. That's where you can sometimes avoid complicated features, right? If you just change the order a little bit. But it's hard to know that right off the bat. You'd probably just go down this path for a little bit, realize that later, and start from scratch. And that's actually one of the best tips I ever got from. I started using SolidWorks back in 1998. And I never forget, there's a guy that was in my group of friends, and he's like, well, I was an applications engineer. He was an applications engineer. And he said, look, man, you're asking me all this tech support questions, and I have one piece of advice for you. And he said, if you're ever at a point where you're struggling enough, just start from scratch. And I said, no, there's no way. We don't, why waste all that time? He goes, no, believe me, you will remodel the part in a fraction of the time it took you, and you'll get it right. So, I've always told people that I think that's the best advice I can give them with SOLIDWORKS is, there's 100 ways to do anything in SOLIDWORKS, but, sometimes the best ways to really get better are just to cut your losses, start from scratch, incorporate all the things you learn, right? Reorder features. That's the story of SOLIDWORKS, man, or pretty much any CAD software these days, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool advice. I like that. I could definitely get on board with that. And there's been spots where like I've just kind of done hack and slash just to get the model done. But eventually you just end up like, I call it designing yourself into a corner. And it's like there are no good solutions. And you just, like you said, just kind of start all over. Maybe leave that model open in the background so you can at least reuse some of your sketches. But yeah, that's really good advice. And Christian Blanc in the chat here says, "What's up, SOLIDWORKS 98 Club?" So there you go. That's what's up. Cool, man. That's me too. SOLIDWORKS 98 Plus. That was my. That was where I got started too. So we're all SOLIDWORKS 98 Club.
God, man, isn't that crazy? Over 20 years of.
And Rafael is SOLIDWORKS 2018 Club.
I am.
What's up? It's all good, bro. We're all in it together. Cool. All right, guys. Well, that was pretty blinding, that run. Ricardo J, a couple more fun facts about him. He says, "I think I'm the man to win this tournament, or at least get past the first round." Well, you did it, Ricardo. You did get past the first round, the round of 32. You got past the round of 16. You're now in the Elite 8, so great job. He says, "My English sucks. I use Google Translate to fill this in here. It's true." And after he told me that, I started using Google Translate, and he and I started having great discussions on the message boards.
That's cool.
And Ivan says, "I don't like ice cream." He says, "Mountains over beaches." I think he's talking about altitude there. And he says, "It's cold outside." So there we go. And Ivan is part of the SOLIDWORKS 99 Club. And Josh Mays can't even remember if he was 98, 98 plus 98. He doesn't even know. He can't even remember anymore. It's been so long. All right.
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. All right, any final thoughts before we get into this next matchup?
No, man, I'm pretty excited to see this one. I love the SOLIDWORKS head-to-head competition, but I did really like the other competitions so far where we had, one CAD system versus another. It's a little easier, I think, to judge when it's SOLIDWORKS versus SOLIDWORKS. So yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Rafael, you ready for this?
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's go. This next CAD battle will begin with Ricardo on the left and Ivan on the right. Let's flip over to full screen. In 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in x.xx pounds? Tolerance is plus or minus 0.01 pounds. Pretty loose tolerance on this one. The part is in plain carbon steel. The units are inch, pound, second. The density is 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. And watch out for that radius. It's a weird value, 0.23. Looks like both of our runners are already getting started. Let's flip over to this CAD versus CAD action. Looks like Ivan is kind of taking a breath, thinking about how he's going to do it, where Ricardo just jumped right in. So let's see which one of those strategies pays off.
So important to do that. I mean, you got to figure out where your origin is, and in relation to your drawing. And it's easy to miss that. It's easy to pick the wrong boss that to start with, and it's on the it's totally away from the origin, and you're then trying to fix it later. So I'm glad Ivan took his time there, because that's so easy to mess up. You also like I like the fact you are using English units too. I meant to say that earlier, is that, there's a little dexterity required to input those dimensions, like millimeters, it's almost too easy, right? You got to, know where those periods are in these numbers, but I do like that homage to the imperial unit system there. Toby, what are you thinking of when you're making these parts here? What's some of the things you think about when you're making these, as far as features you want people to use?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I just kind of imagine what, how I would create it, and then ask, I think it's interesting to watch how I create it, because, in order to do this correctly, it's a lot of work. Obviously, you can't just do it once and be like, okay, that's it. That's how they're gonna do it. You have to model using different techniques. You have to say, like, if I did this one as a revolve versus as a sweep versus as an extrude, am I getting all the same answers? sometimes just the nature of the solver is that it will there will be slight deviation, and so you have to use that to kind of figure out. You got to figure out how you're going to handle that. Do I really want that feature in there? Do I want it to have a different tolerance because of that? So yeah, those are all the things that you kind of have to think through if you're going to get into the business of hosting a 3D CAD versus 3D CAD worldwide speed modeling tournament. I know there's a lot of people out there who are chomping at the bit to enter this space, so just keep that in mind. A little insider tip.
I can't wait to get some kids involved because the esports is taking over and people are getting so competitive with that. I think you will see a younger crowd getting into this pretty soon, and really and taking it to the next level. I mean, you get slower as you get older, right? And so think about how fast these kids could be at this.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely seeing some of that, but there's some gray hairs in here that are still kind of crushing it. So
Hey, man,
I think there's no substitute for wisdom and for experience.
Yeah, all these sports start with the old guys, and they kind of figure it out, and then the kids come in there and say, "Let me show you how to do it."
They get the solvers going and they exploit it. Speaking of exploits, look at Ivan using a move face here. Interesting. And I like Barry in the chat, who's from England. He says, "Chris, not English units. We use millimeters."
Well, good for you. One thing I noticed about your parts, Toby, that I've looked at, there's so many opportunities to use the rib feature in SOLIDWORKS. It's like one of the best tools in SOLIDWORKS, that rib feature. And I wanted to throw some kudos your way because you're definitely I like how you use that or you present the opportunity. I haven't seen I think that feature is in Onshape, for example, and some other CAD softwares, but I like that way that you use rib, and like with this part here, we're looking at. I can't give all my comments and give away some tips here, but I can definitely see how you're utilizing the most common features in SOLIDWORKS, extrusion, and then there was an opportunity to use another one, but your fillets are all pretty reasonable. I mean, these are good parts that can be modeled fast.
Yeah, and it's there's I have to let the guys know, I let the runners know, like this round, the round of the Elite 8, just be aware there's going to be some sweeping and some lofting. We saw in this model, both the runners utilized the loft in this model. We saw in the odd wrench that there was a sweep that was used by Alnis and by WALRUS GUMBOOT. So we are introducing some additional feature types here as we go through the competition. But we have to keep it. You have to be aware that different CAD solvers might, different Parasolid kernels might solve those types of features differently. Sure. And we do have an answer that came in here while we were chatting from the man with no toolbars, Ivan. 1.779. The correct answer is 1.78. So that is within tolerance. 1.78 pounds. Wow, Ivan for the win. Super fast, and Ricardo's right behind him, finishing up that model. So guys, let's give Ivan and Ricardo both a GG in the chat. GG to Ivan, GG to Ricardo. These guys are just awesome. Thank you to all of our runners, of course, but Ivan for showing up, for saying, you know what, don't even worry about the toolbars. I don't need them. It's fine. You don't have to worry. Because I asked him ahead of time, do you want me to bring some toolbars for you? And he said, no, it's all good. I'm just not going to use them today. And I was like, okay, and wow, he just absolutely smoked on that one. So GG to Ivan, GG to both of our runners, to Ricardo as well. Congratulations. Wow.
I'd be curious to know what kind of setup does Ivan use in terms of the keyboard and mouse.
Yeah. We got to do a long format live stream with him. For sure. Ivan's secrets of Ivan, secrets of the reasonable. Well,
I love Steve's comment here. We don't need any stinking toolbars.
Yeah, that's what's up. Man, all right, guys. Well, congratulations. And Chris, I want to say thank you so much for joining us in that matchup. What do you think, Chris? You want to stick around for one more SOLIDWORKS versus SOLIDWORKS matchup?
Just do it, man. I'm here. I'm loving this. It's so much fun.
All right, we're gonna keep Chris around. Chris is doing an awesome job. Guys, give a 1 in the chat if you're enjoying Chris's commentary. And this is awesome. Really enjoying having you here. So we've got one more really cool matchup coming at you guys today. And that is going to, first of all, let's give a huge shout out of congratulations to Ivan, who moves on to the Final Four. He's going to be coming back December 3rd, 10 a.m. East Coast. Very excited to see that Final Four matchup. We're going to do the semifinals and the finals all in the same day. So that December 3rd stream is going to be epic. And that's going to take us out of the red bracket, and we're going to move on over to the mustard-colored bracket for our final match. Match number 4, Tom Smith versus Andrew Lowe. This is one we saved the best for last. I'm very excited to see how these guys stack up. If you guys are enjoying this, first of all, be sure to hit that like button. That is an easy way to support the channel. Be sure to share and reshare. You can take a screen cap of what we're doing here and send it out on social media. Say, this is pretty cool. You can go over to the Too Tall Toby website and join the mailing list so we can stay in touch in case anything ever happens to the YouTube. You can support financially if you want to send me some super chat using a little, there's like a little $sign thing at the bottom of the chat window. You can use a credit card and send over some super chat for financial support. If you're watching the recording, you can use what's called super thanks, or you can go over to the Too Tall Toby website, and there is a PayPal donation link on there. And of course, I just want to remind you guys one last time, because we are heading into the final matchups here. The shirts are available. Head over to tootalltoby.com, click on the merch link, and you can get yourself a shirt. That shirt order form, it's a little bit funky right now. It's a little bit in beta. It does work. We have successfully shipped out shirts, but it's a little bit funky right now. We're getting a better one put up this week. Shout out to WooCommerce. And with that, let's get into our final matchup down here in the mustard-colored bracket. And in the mustard-colored bracket, we have none other than Tom Smith, multi-year Model Mania champion, trying to secure his first Too Tall Toby championship ring. This might be the year that he gets it. Going up against none other than Low 9, surfacing demigod. Andrew Lowe is absolutely epic as far as the world of surfacing. He's done so much to help out in the community with surfacing-related content and just SolidWorks-related content in general. So Tom Smith, SolidWorks user since 1997, avid drone racer. What about you, Rafael? You ever fly any drones? Ever do any FPV?
I have not yet.
No? How about you, Chris?
No. I'm terrified of drones, actually. I was hit by one.
Oh, man. Wow. Like if somebody flew one into you by accident or on purpose?
Well, I probably trust Tom, though. I know him. He's a badass. I mean, he's really super talented. So I think I'd be cool with him flying around me.
Well, Tom and his woman have an awesome YouTube channel. Really, I guess it's her channel, Rue FPV. Love watching her videos. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the world of competitive speed modeling drones, not really speed modeling, speed racing drones, you can definitely check out Tom's YouTube channel, or Rue FPV, her YouTube channel. It's really fun. It's a lot of fun to watch and to see how they navigate through these courses. They have to like fly through gates and stuff. It's really cool. It's like it reminds me of playing a video game, really.
Yeah.
Like it's so cool.
Super cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a look here at our final matchup. We're going to have Low 9, Andrew Lowe on the right. We're going to have Tom Smith on the left. Let's learn a little bit about Low 9. He is a surfacing master, as I've mentioned a couple of times now. He does have SolidWorks tutorials up on YouTube, youtube.com/low9. Be sure to check out his YouTube channel. Andrew has, on a personal note, I'll just say he's done a lot to help me get better and better at surfacing, both from his live presentations and his YouTube content. So be sure to check out stuff that he has to offer. He's an industrial designer who does end-to-end product development. So we got a pretty good matchup here. We got one guy's an avid drone racer, and the other guy looks like he's got a full resume of SolidWorks-related skills. So this will be great. So let's get into it here. The Elite 8, let's go. We're going to do CAD versus CAD battle here, and this CAD versus CAD battle is going to take place in just one moment. Make sure I got everything set up correctly here. Everything, oh, nope, everything's not correct. Now everything's correct. Here we go. Switch over to our full screen mode, and this CAD versus CAD battle goes live in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in x.xxx pounds? God, why are all these pounds models in this challenge today? I don't know. It's random. IPS, plain carbon steel, 7,800 kilograms per cubic meter. This one's called T-Slider. Look out for that radius at 0.8. It's in magenta. The rest of the model, it's up to you guys to figure out how to build it. Looks like both of our runners are getting started here. We got Tom Smith on the left. We got Low 9 on the right. We got Tom Smith from the United States, Low 9 from Canada. Let's see who is able to come up with the geometry for this T-Slider part here, shown in green in the middle of the screen. Looks like they are both starting with the basic, what I would call the footprint profile of this part. You're kind of looking down on the top. You got the overall dimensions. It makes sense. Looks like they both decided to put the origin at the exact same spot. This is how you know you're dealing with professionals. Two independent users looking at the same drawing come up with the exact same techniques to get started. Same feature order creation as well for features number 1 and 2. Let's see what they do for feature number 3 here.
It's right away you're thinking, where, how am I going to use symmetry? Do I do it at the sketch? Do I do it at the feature level? That's, you look at this part, there's so many opportunities. You could do either.
Yeah. Are we going to model half? And is that really going to save us time? Or is it just, let's just model the whole thing because that gives us the dimensions. We don't have to worry about like mathematically cutting the dimensions in half as we're going through and trying to speed model.
One thing that goes against my instinct is to put the fillets so high up in the feature tree.
I completely agree with you there as well. I was kind of thinking the same thing. Like, it's interesting that they decided to put them in right away, but I guess you're just in this mode where you're just trying to speed through, and it's like whatever comes next. You kind of have to get into a flow state when you're doing speed modeling.
Yeah, what helps you get into your flow state there, Toby?
I like to look at pictures of like cement mixers and stuff like that.
Yeah. I do enjoy your music you put on your the music that you offer on your channel for CAD, doing CAD projects too. It's good stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with that. It's funny. I played that for my roommate the other day, and he was like, "This is awesome. I'm getting pumped." We were outside mining a little bit. We were trying to survive the night. Lots of zombies and skeletons were coming after us, but we did survive the night. Neither of us died, and so. And we didn't have to drop our stuff and pick it up. And so it was really, but yeah, he liked that. And Volume 2 is definitely coming out. If you guys haven't checked that out, somebody can find that song, that video that I made that's called Music for CAD Engineers. Drop it into the YouTube chat for me, please. And that way people can enjoy that music when they're doing CAD. And then we can do Volume 2 in the next, probably in the next month, we'll do Volume 2.
Nice.
All right, so Mark LeBlanc in the chat is he's firing away here. He says they are definitely doing this wrong. Wow, Mark, strong words. We'll see how Mark does it when he gets into the Elite 8, I guess.
We know what we do need shit talking. I mean, come on, this is this is a great opportunity to like talk trash and it's good. What's interesting is that I see here on low 9 that his approach so far is he looks like he's done the extrusion, but he's already going to making some cuts. That's interesting. I think it's always maybe a good practice to keep those cut features to the end of your process, maybe, right? But sometimes you need those cuts to make your other dimensions off of, right? So you really do need to know. Think about how you're going to do this before you start to CAD, I think.
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
And there's going to be some models that have that, that have that type of a kind of a gotcha when it comes to, the order of your features, where like one feature might be dependent on another. And unless you're able to do some trig on the fly, you might be better off with deciding on a different order. That.
He's already using the thin feature. Excellent use of that, especially for that kind of, consistent wall thickness geometry there. I like that.
I remember as a novice designer, the frustration that the thin feature used to give me because I couldn't close the sketch.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people make thin features by
accident.
So
hold on a second, guys. We got an answer that comes in here from Tom Smith. Believe it or not, while we were chatting there, he already got through, and his answer was 1.593 pounds, and that is correct. So Tom Smith is going to lock down the win for that one. Wow, that was speedy. And if we notice on Tom Smith's screen while he's doing that victory roll, this was one of those parts. Actually, exactly what we were talking about there. Those angles that are coming down, the dimension to locate that T cutout is based on that angle that's coming down. Those little like angled supports are coming down, and then you need those to put in that 0.25 dimension. So without those angles, you're not going to be able to get that dimension. And I think that's what was happening to Andrew on the right, is that he ended up struggling to figure out where the heck that dimension was supposed to be. And Tom was able to get through and make that. But you got to be on the lookout for that, not only in the tournament, but also in the real world. Sometimes one feature's location will be dependent on another feature, and that means that, the order of your features matters. So good game to both of our runners. Wow, that was really fast from both of our runners. Guys in the chat, let's give a GG to Tom Smith. Let's give a GG to Andrew Lowe as well. What do you guys think about that match?
That was good. I was hinting at that order of features because it looked like that that chamfer, the bottom of that chamfer was located off of the off that cutout, but it's just it's an order of operations thing where you wouldn't fabricate the part using those dimensions, but design wise that those are important dimensions to have there. So anyway, great model, Toby. I like that was a good one. It was a nice little gotcha on that one.
Yeah, I know, and I agree with what you're saying there. Sometimes it's tricky because you think about like what you said. Sometimes you think about how you're going to manufacture the model versus how it was designed, right? And sometimes those are different. Sometimes the design intent from the customer is like these holes need to be a certain distance from this feature, and so it does become dependent on the feature order. But then if you've got a strong manufacturing background, it's hard to kind of break that habit. And yeah, that's a great observation. I never really thought about it that way. All right, well, that's going to move us into our next matchup here with Tom Smith and Low 9. This is a best of 3. So here we go. We got Tom Smith coming in here. He's a SolidWorks user since 1997, avid drone racer, and is also a flight simulator enthusiast. If you ever catch Tom on Discord, chances are that he's got Microsoft Flight Simulator as his currently running program.
Nice.
So yeah, shout out to Tom Smith. And over on the right, we got Low 9. He is awesome at contributing to the community in the world of surfacing, has some SolidWorks tutorials on YouTube, industrial designer, does end-to-end product development, doesn't get to model as much as he used to. He's taking more of a leadership role. So I think a lot of us know that feeling. And if you're out there and you're in that spot, hopefully you can use Too Tall Toby, the YouTube channel, to still get some practice in, whether it's on Model Monday Live or by looking at the Practice Models playlist. Lots of great opportunity there. And
I'm so sorry to hear that he's been relegated to doing management moves, management decisions, and not as much CAD. That's sad. It's always sad when you have to go that direction in your career.
Yeah, it's hard to get. Yeah, Josh Mays is saying the same thing. Says, I feel you, Low 9. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people out there who probably have found themselves in that spot where they don't get to do as much modeling as they used to.
Yeah.
And also, Low 9 says, not as tall as Toby. Yeah, good game in the tall man contest.
What you got for us next, man? What's this next model we're looking at? I'm terrified.
Tom Smith is also a CAD admin. Yeah, it's true. Shout out Josh Mays. All right, here we go. This next CAD battle is going to be SolidWorks versus SolidWorks, and it's going to take place in, switch over to full screen, in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX.X grams? Tolerance is plus or minus 0.2 grams. All spokes are 10 millimeters wide and centered on the green center lines. And there's a radius of 3 in 32 places. Take a look at this print. There's some pretty cool views in this print. Our runners look like they don't even need to look at the print. They're just immediately jumping into it. So let's flip over to this CAD versus CAD matchup. We got Low 9 on the right from Canada. We got Tom Smith on the left. He's certified SolidWorks expert and drone racer. This is a physical part I have in my hand here. So what is this? What do we think this is? Anybody know?
Something from IKEA?
What do you got? You guys in the chat, you can see if you can guess what this is. Services Techniques, Eric says, this one is not so easy. Yes, this one, there's some action going on in this one. Iron Man says, this is easy for me. This should be a fast one. Mark LeBlanc, fan housing, incorrect, but keep the guesses coming. I do appreciate the guesses. If anybody can figure out what this is, I will tell you that you got it correct. That's your big prize.
One of the things I'm seeing Lo do over here, he's doing a multi-contour selection here to grab all the sketch geometry. But after I saw your tips and tricks presentation, Toby, and you did that really cool tip where you use it when you're using power trim. There's an option to make the trim geometry construction.
Yeah,
dude, that's a game changer. I keep seeing opportunities here where you could use that and not screw up, cut the geometry that you've already dimensioned. So you might have to pull that out in your next tips and tricks video.
Yes, you just gave me a great idea for a video. So thank you. That's great.
Look at this. Look at this. Oh man, yeah, I'm starting to see where the challenge of what you're dimensioning off, you know, your reference for your dimensions. You know, it's a little challenging. It's another order of operations situation here. I do like the fact that Low 9 is pretty confident working in this isometric style view.
I like that as well. That's like I'm just gonna say that's like a surfacing thing in a way, because when you do a lot of lofting and sweeping, like you want to be able to quickly pierce to those guide curves. You want to be able to quickly reference those entities that are on different planes, and that's like you just learn how to do that. You're like, I'm just gonna work. I'm good.
Yeah, look at this. Oh yeah, doing a shell now.
Yeah, an very interesting approach that Low 9 is taking. I think I know where he's going with it though. And we see on the left, we got Tom Smith, who's also done a shell, but is working with more of that. It looks almost like a slice of toast, actually, from that point of view.
Yeah.
A lot of people guessing what this is. No one has gotten it correct yet, but it's okay. You guys can keep guessing if you want. I am keeping an eye on the chat, and I will let you know when someone gets it correct. And you know what? I'll tell you what. If somebody can get this correct to the tolerance that I have in my brain, there's something very specific I'm looking for. I'll send you a free T-shirt. So we'll put some stakes on.
You mean like this one? This one here?
Oh yeah, or like this one.
Yeah, it's a very comfortable shirt.
Yeah, baby.
I like that you didn't skimp on the material in this shirt.
Thank you.
I feel left out.
Yes, yeah, Rafael, yours will probably be there today. It's probably out in the mail right now, and it's gonna be nice and soft when you get it.
I have to ask you, how'd you come up with the Two-Tone Toby logo? One day you have to share.
Yeah, it's a long story. It's a reference. It's a reference to the story of Icarus. You know, you gotta be careful that you don't fly too high. So in the animation, when I stand up, I hit my head on the sun because I'm too tall, and that's the reference to Icarus. And it tries to remind me not to, just don't fly too high. Just be comfortable.
Don't get burned.
Yeah, and it's like an interesting thing because I think it's like that life lesson kind of parallels the whole like grass is always greener life lesson. Mm-hmm. You know, like a lot of times you necessarily think you're like going up, like, but even just thinking that like that thing over there might be better, that thing over there might be better, but it's like just get in your groove, get in your flow state, and enjoy it. You know, enjoy
everything in moderation. Right?
Yeah, and just enjoy the journey. Like just being the fact that we can be on a journey, the fact that we can do, little things. The fact that we can get up and walk around, and walk outside and smell the fresh air. Like even just that is a blessing and something that you should be thankful for and just enjoy.
Amen, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, look at this on Tom though. Like he just picked up the pace real quick, and oh man, I think he's got this one.
Let's see.
Man, Tom's always been, I think, the guy who does Model Mania at SolidWorks World.
Mm-hmm.
The glory days of SolidWorks World.
He's got the background.
Yeah, he's got the background, but he fabricates parts. I think he fabricates stuff for his off-road rigs. So this is not a part he would typically model. I don't think he's.
If he's modeling 3D printing parts for drones.
That's true.
There might be some similarities here, but look at Low 9 on the right. He's already he's got everything. It's all framed out. He's just got to make those connectors. This is going to be a very, very close match.
It's coming out to the wire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of think, you might be tempted to use some of those SolidWorks tools like the, event features, to do this kind of geometry, but it's a little bit unusual geometry. It's not very, not a standard pattern for events. So not maybe the best tool, but you might be tempted to use it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. It's like a little bit more of a kind of like a nuanced tool that you can maybe utilize. Look at Low 9, just like, no, you want to do some multi-body stuff? No problem, I got it. Like multi-body, combine, merging. This is what's up. This is.
Oh man, are we gonna start seeing some split features here or what? I mean, gosh, this is like. Oh wow!
I love that there's so much deviation on both of these professionals' approach here.
Well, I think the best way to get good at this kind of CAD work, this speed modeling, is to just do these practice models you have on your YouTube channel. Like just do them like same one, do it a few times.
I'm sorry, but on the left there, Tom just auto selected all 32 of those edges in one shot. Man, that was cool.
Risky.
He just
really pushing your
blasted
computer
through.
there.
Yeah, he's gonna play exactly. Not if it's a solid box computer.
That's true. That's true. Kind of optimized for multi-selection like
There
that.
you go.
That's true. It's true.
So both of our runners just all of a sudden they didn't
Wow.
have the spokes, and then they did, and that was that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Oh,
close.
wow. Tom's. I can't say it. Can't say it. Can't give it away.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Look at this use of. Oh man, this is interesting.
Oh, yeah.
How's he gonna handle this part? Let's see. And low 9 getting in there, making that additional little slice of geometry that that on the bottom of that kind of center boss there. So we see
He's going back to the
addressing
Phillies now.
that issue.
Interesting. Okay. That
Wow,
was a nice
this
recovery.
is so
Nice
close.
recovery.
This is so neck and neck.
Oh, he's going for the mass properties button already.
And Tom's going for it as well. Tom has answered 110.9 grams. That is incorrect. That is incorrect.
Oh.
So you're going to need to examine your model, see if you missed anything, see if anything is out of line. But Tom has put in his first answer, 110.94. We're still neck and neck here, guys. This could be anybody's game. We see Tom has answered 110.947, so we'll call it 110.9. That is incorrect. Is not within tolerance.
That was quick feedback from Toby. Right on.
There you go. Appreciate it, Rafael.
Okay. What is he? Oh, I think he's realizing the mistake. Yep. Well, he's using the measure tool to kind of validate the final dimension here. And oh man. Oh my God. Wait. Oh, low 9's really close now. This is back. This is
Here comes the second one.
Oh, he's about to type it in.
Okay. Let's see what we get here.
Damn. Oh, another photo finish. This is hilarious.
Another photo finish. Low 9 coming in 100.1. That is not correct. Not within tolerance. And Tom Smith coming in 102.9. That is not correct. That is not within the specified tolerance. So Andrew Lowe now gets the 5-minute clock. Andrew Lowe gets a chance to see if he can figure out what was incorrect. He's got to look through all his dimensions. Just to review the answers that came in here, Tom Smith came in with an answer of 110, and that answer was incorrect. 110.9. Andrew Lowe came in with an answer of 100.1. That answer was incorrect. And Tom Smith came in with an answer of 102.9. That answer was incorrect. We're looking for the correct answer within plus or minus 0.2 grams. That's the tolerance. And neither of them have made it. So now Andrew has 4 minutes and 25 seconds left to model through.
Yeah, he's so close. I mean, I can't believe what a comeback he made. It's pretty cool. Okay, is he ready? He looks like he's gonna hit that evaluate button. What's he doing here?
Oh man.
Okay, yeah. He's got to get that mass properties button on his S key immediately.
Yep, the game is the game, Tom.
Oh, I think what's happened is his mass properties box is behind his window, or behind his solid. There you go.
Let's see. He's trying to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah. I think he's noticing that there was no change in the numerical value on his output there, so he's freaking out. And maybe as this tournament keeps evolving, Toby, we do more shit talking and give people a hard time.
There's a lot going on. So I'm just trying to watch I'm watching the. You can see me like scrolling up and down in the chat here. I'm just trying to see what's going on. Victor says I'm yelling at my screen. I also want to remind everybody that we do still have the opening for this thing. I haven't seen anyone answer it correctly. It's very specific. If you've never had one of these, you probably won't be able to guess it. But let's see here. I guessed it already, and I have the T-shirt. All right, all day. Good job. Not correct, but good job. I like the guesses. I saw your guesses earlier.
Lowe's got that luxury right now of going through and just measuring everything, and that's great. I mean, he can compare it to the drawing. He's got just a little under 3 minutes, so good chance he'll figure it out. I think a lot of people in the audience could see the thing that's maybe not there in the model, but this is
this is up to him to figure out what that is.
Figure out.
Yeah, it's interesting that he keeps going back to his mass properties and looks like he keeps getting the same thing. So he's like, no, that can't be right. He's trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah. At one point, maybe the tournament, it's not so much about making new geometry, but like you have to give the the contestants to the same file that's kind of messed up, and then have them try to fix it and get rid of all the underdefined or just dangling sketch entities and all that kind of stuff, and basically repair a file and see how long they can do that. I mean, that'd be a good test of a good CAD admin, right?
Indeed. If you I'm gonna wait till the end to say any.
Okay.
Yeah. I got some commentary that I'm gonna hold for a minute and 50 seconds.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Josh Mays is in here. He sees what's going on. Let's see here.
So how much are your nerves a factor at this point, Toby? If this is like,
oh man, I'm
quite deep in the tournament here.
I'm super nervous.
Yeah, I mean, it's do you need to take some supplements at this point to keep your fingers from cramping up? You don't know.
You gotta, yeah. You really gotta figure out what what it is you're doing.
Oh,
I like it. All day, that's classy, bro. All day says it's right there. Just check the ... That's awesome. That's my favorite comment.
Oh,
he's going through 57 seconds.
Yeah.
Don't run it out to the wire. You gotta learn from GERBEN.
Yep.
I can't imagine 100 people watching me CAD, and
yeah, indeed. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
Just with one person looking over my shoulder, I get frozen.
Okay, yeah. Andrew Lowe has answered 100.3 grams for his second and final answer. That is incorrect.
Oh.
Tom Smith fat fingered his answer. He said, if in the chat, if you go back in the chat a little earlier, you can see he put in 102.92, and then he said, "Wow, I typed wrong." And then he said, "Look at my screen," and I was looking at it, and he had the correct mass up there. The correct mass of the spool end is... Wait, Tom had it up before. Now I lost it on my answer sheet. The correct answer is 102.3 plus or minus 0.2 grams. 102.3. You can see Tom Smith has it up there. Man, that's brutal. Woo. Oh, man. Well, that's how it goes in Too Tall Toby's speed modeling tournament,
Yeah.
You got it. You got to get it right. You got to get it right. I remember Victor, I think in one of his matches, he typed in the density instead of the mass, and that burned off his first incorrect answer, and then he got it correct after that. So GG, my goodness, you guys. GG. And that was awesome. Great job, you guys. Iron Man says he got it right. I don't think he did, Iron Man. I think you're going to have to go and look back at the input. The input is what's up. But yeah, it was a close one. And Tom is a close personal friend of mine. I'm actually going to go play music with Tom next weekend. So he's probably going to tune half a step out of tune on purpose just to screw me up. And he'll be like, "Yeah, your guitar sounds like crap, man." That'll be how he gets his sweet revenge.
Classic Smith.
Classic Tom Smith, yeah.
Are you going to cover the Toby method of making this part in the near future?
Yeah, yep, I think I sure am. Yeah, would you be interested in seeing that?
I would like to see your approach to this.
We'll get through some of these. And I will tell you guys, nobody got it right, I don't think. If anybody did, you can tell me later. But what this is, hold on a second, I'll get the other part.
Of course.
Big. Oops, I bumped my mic. What this is one of those industrial, you go to Costco and you buy the saran wrap thing that's like enough saran wrap to last you and your family for your entire life. This is one of the end spools for that. So I was looking for saran wrap or cellophane wrap or clear plastic wrap in the answer. If anybody put that in the answer and I missed it, let me know.
Nice. That's cool.
What do you think? You ever buy those, Castle?
I just bought a whole bunch of parchment paper. I'm going to go look and see if it's in that box right now.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right, cool, guys. Well, very nicely done to our guys. Guys, Michael, it needs to leave. Michael LaFleche, thank you so much for joining us, Michael. Very great to have you in here. Thank you so much for answering everybody's questions. And we're going to go on here now to... Here we go. GG to our winner. And now we're going to go into another match. That one was a push. What'd you guys think about that? That was pretty cool, huh?
It was pretty amazing. And Mark LeBlanc on the screen here just asked, how does he get into this? I think all of a sudden people have been wondering, like where does this come from? How do I get into it? I think, to remind people in this crowd, I mean, this is like any CAD system versus any CAD system competition, which is so cool. Like Mike was saying, by the way, I'm Mike. I'm known as Mike now on this channel.
Thank you. I will change that. I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's good. Just don't want to take any credit away from Mike LaFleche. He's like one of the greatest of all time CAD users,
Yeah.
And as he was pointing out with the Onshape stuff, like, just there are things that Onshape, it comes basically from SOLIDWORKS, and it has all these cool features. But do you really know what it can do versus SOLIDWORKS? No, this is a real true experience to understand like what CAD software, where other CAD software is maybe stronger than, the one you use, I never knew about Space Claim. I can't believe I didn't know about Space Claim until, I didn't know it was really used for this kind of level of CAD. And then you had that one guy doing Space Claim on here. Well, that was cool.
Yeah, hey, making videos.
Yeah. I mean, I just want somebody to do the IronCAD bring in IronCAD into this, and maybe Google SketchUp or something. But anyway, when is the next tournament going to be? When is the next bracket start?
Great point. Great segue. Thank you for that, Chris. And I know there was another question in the chat I saw earlier here. I think Fahin asked about this as well, and I apologize, Fahin. I saw you ask this a couple of times, and every time I went to answer, something exciting happened in the tournament, and so I had to jump in and say something. But the answer to that, and also the answer to Mark's question, how do I get in on this, is we did open enrollment earlier this year. So the people who watch my channel, who subscribe to my channel, they tune into a weekly live stream that I do called Model Monday Live. During Model Monday Live, we have these challenges, and they just go out to the chat, and the entire chat tries to create these models and see who's the fastest at creating these models. And then during Model Monday Live one night, I just announced, hey, we're going to do a tournament. If you guys want to be in this tournament, let's figure out a way to get into it. That was about 2 years ago. And then we did a few more tournaments since then. And earlier this year, I made the announcement on Model Monday Live. I said, here's a form. Just fill out this form. Anybody who fills out the form can get in the round of 32. First 32 people are in. All you got to do is fill out the form. Now, next year, we're going to do things a little differently. We're going to go back to a little more of a qualifier system. So the best way to find out about when the next tournament is happening, the best way to get involved, to get registered, is to subscribe to the YouTube channel, sign up for my mailing list at tootalltoby.com, and join us during Model Monday Live. Anytime you see me doing Model Monday Live, there's a chance I'm going to announce it. When I do announce it, I'll make a thumbnail that says I'm going to announce it. So, you'll see through the thumbnail. But just subscribe to my channel, keep an eye on my stuff, and you'll definitely be able to get into the 2023 tournament and go up against some of these guys. I think it's going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. So here we go. With that all being said, let's see here. Would have it with tolerance on my first guess. Wow, really? That's cool. Let's see here. No, wait. What was your first guess? Well, I'll circle back and we'll look at that, Andrew. But I don't think you did. I don't think you would. The correct answer was 102.3. I think your first one was like 102.9 or something like that. I forgot the material. Oh yeah, we've seen other people do that before too. I remember 5 Lax famously did that during one of the matchups. And I think Victor gave me super chat where he said forgot the material. So yeah, epic, greatest chat ever. All right, guys, let's go. Let's take a look at our next matchup between these Titans. We got Tom Smith with 1 win. We got Low 9 with 0 wins. So Tom Smith could cinch this thing and move on to the Final Four, but it could also be Low 9 coming back and taking 2 straight matches. We don't know what's going to happen. Like Rafael said earlier, that's the cool thing about having this be a best of 3. So let's go. Let's make sure we got everything good here. And shout out to Rich. Thanks so much for the kind words here, Rich. I love putting this kind of stuff together. This is awesome. Victor, again, reprising his previous comment. Material not selected. Yeah, it was awesome when he put that in Super Chat. All right, guys. Next match. Is this going to be the final match? I don't know. Maybe. This CAD battle goes live in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? Tolerance is plus or minus 2 grams. This thing is called round flange. It's in millimeters. It's 1060 aluminum alloy with 2,700 kilograms per cubic meter as the density. There is a tangency called out in magenta and also a concentric arcs note called out in magenta. Let's flip over, see how our users decide to take on this challenge. Looks like, once again, 2 professional expert level CAD users looking at the same model, starting out with the same starting plane, same starting profile, same origin location. There's got to be something to be said for that.
Look at this.
Iron Man's already coming in with an answer for this one. He modeled it up immediately. He's answering 102.5, but that is not correct, Iron Man. And I'll ask you to hold that until the end. Let's see here. 102.5. Wait, Iron Man said that? No, I didn't. LOL. He didn't say that earlier, right, Iron Man? I got a lot going on here, bro. Okay, so if I made a mistake, I'll look at it. Just let me know. Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, all right.
You know, it's incredible what you're accomplishing as a producer and the star of the show, Toby. I think it's pretty freaking cool, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's fun. It keeps my
it's gonna be great when we get your production staff going and you can have multiple tournaments going on at the same time. I mean, I think the future of this might be, you know, I think someone else said it, like one of your last episodes was, you know, like you should see people here from like corporate, like trying to come in and with their, you know, their top dog, the best CAD expert they have, and, you know, put them head to head against, you know, people who are actual users of the software. I think that's where this goes one day, because people just love to compete. I mean, people love to show off what they've learned, and I don't know, this is the best format for it. And I mean, I've learned so much by watching some of these competitions so far.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from watching these competitions as well, and I'm very thankful to all the runners who really are the true stars of this thing. I appreciate the compliment, but I would also want to pay it forward to them, because these guys are really the true stars today. And, you know, we're seeing some people using some great techniques, like Andrew Lowe there using the thin feature cut extrude with the 2 lines. I didn't know you could do that. 2 separate lines, cut extrude thin in 1 single feature. That's pretty cool. Like, I didn't actually know you could do that. I'm going to start looking for places to use that. I would have always done it either with like a rectangle and then maybe pattern, or, you know, 2 different features or whatever. Like, I would have spent a lot of time cutting that up. He just made 2 lines and was able to get in there and do that. So that's pretty incredible. And Tom Smith on the left, you know, using all the cool sketching shortcuts that he's got, like the line arc line, going into the tangency option there for line arc line, for you know, he just was so quickly able to get that sketch together because of knowing some of those key shortcuts. And, you know, as always, it's not just about creating this geometry quickly, but it's also got to be accurate. It's got to be correct, or else, you know, like we saw in the last one, you're going to be outside of the specified tolerance, and then you're making parts that nobody can use. You're just costing the company money. So that's what I hope people really are taking away who are watching this. You know, I'm hoping there's a lot of people who are just watching it as laymen, and, you know, just think it's cool to see the 2 people that are so close in skill. But I hope those of you that are CAD enthusiasts are taking away, you know, some really valuable time-saving shortcuts that can still be accurate.
Yeah, and there's a mantra I think I've heard you say about, you know, when you come to starting a sketch, for example, where you click on the plane or the face, and you have this whole routine, this almost mantra you go through with the way you model. I think some of these competitors are going to need to start doing that, like, you know, remembering set my material right away. You know, basically set my units right away. There's just a few things that I think some people might start to forget.
I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah, no, look at that.
Andrew Lowe just got rid of those front faces with a move face.
Yeah.
He started out doing delete face and saw it wasn't going to work, and then did it with move face. Ivan, do you know you could do that? This is a very specific question for a very specific audience member. That was sick. Yeah. Holy smokes. I never knew you could do that.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I kind of wonder how he figured that out.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Interesting.
Man, I am going to use that a lot. That, wow. Guys, if you guys, holy smokes. That was
Can we do a timestamp on that one?
Yeah, we need to definitely do a timestamp on that one.
Yeah.
Let's see what it is. Man, that was,
you created another Ivan exploit blocker feature.
I'll figure it out. That's gonna definitely get. Victor says, "Yeah, move face is great when delete face breaks." Wow. Oh man, I'm sorry, Chris Castle. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're good. You're good.
That was that really blew me away.
I was in awe of low nine's definitely thriving on this competition here. He's definitely keeping up with Tom on this one, and it's gonna be close. Be real close.
It's going to be real close, neck and neck, kind of deviating which features each person is creating. but really neck and neck here. Couple of more features for each of them. They're both kind of right down to the wire here.
Oh, I see such opportunity. Use one of my favorite tools here.
Yeah. It's
killing me.
I know you don't want to say it.
It's oh wow, this is good. This is really good.
Very interesting how they're both going for this one.
He's up. I don't know. I think low nine being a surfacing guru. I'm curious if he's going to use this tool.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of.
And it looks like all day in the chat is thinking the same thing you're thinking.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
We all thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that you've been color coding your fillets in the in your models here. It's great.
Thank you. Yep. Got to try to make sure people don't miss miss things.
Looks like low 9 opted to not merge the results there. It's interesting. Oh, he figured a way to get through that quickly. Nice.
Looks like Tom's trying to learn how to use copy and paste now. Struggling. He's really struggling with the copy and paste. Okay, Tom Smith comes up with an answer, and low 9 is right behind him, one feature behind him. 4, 8, 2, 3. That is the correct answer. Low 9 was literally, less than 10 clicks behind him. Wow. Yeah. Let's see if low 9 got it as well. He's off by a little, 4510. So there was something that maybe was a little bit off. The correct answer is 4823, and that is going to seal the game for Tom Smith. That is going to allow him to move on to the Final Four. What an awesome matchup, guys. I mean, that was so cool. Andrew Lowe using some techniques that I personally had never even thought of before, able to move through that final matchup. And great job from both of our runners here. Let's make sure that we give a GG to both of our runners here. Be sure to check out Andrew's YouTube channel if you haven't checked it out yet. He puts up a lot of awesome content on there. But man, yeah, we really did learn from the Masters today all day. You said it great. Epic matchups here to all of our runners. Great job to Tom Smith moving on to the Final Four. Guys, the Final Four will take place on December 3rd at 10 a.m. So super excited to see how this thing works out. What did you guys think about that final matchup? Rafael, you first. What did you think about that?
Learned more than a few things, and it made me wonder, just throwing that idea out, what if we ever have a tournament that's for surfacing?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I like that. Sorry, I'm eating an apple.
No, it's okay.
How about you, Castle? What'd you think about that one?
Yeah.
It's one of the best ones for sure. It killed me that the rib tool wasn't used. The rib tool, it was just begging. The poor rib tool. I mean, it's so underutilized. Yeah. It's like
I could tell you wanted
steroids.
I could tell you wanted to say something.
I want to say something. I am a big fan of ribs. But other than that, I mean, really solid performance. I mean, low 9 is, I think he's going to be next year or like real serious contender. Like I see him maybe, Final Four next year, because just surfacing guy doing mainly these extruded parts. Nice crossover.
Yeah, and congratulations to low 9. Look, he was able to beat Zach G in the first round. He was able to beat Philo Mathis in the round of 16. Was able to move on to the round of 8. So huge congratulations to all of our runners today. Everybody was awesome today. Congratulations to those who made it into the Final Four. They're going to be coming back in 2 weeks, December 3rd, for the absolute finals. If you guys need to log off the live stream, please make sure you hit like before you go. Feel free to send over some super chat or super thanks as well. But I want to say great job to everybody who ran today, the entire Elite 8. They were all outstanding. All of our runners today just really came in and showed us what's up. That final match, I think we did kind of save the best for last. I really enjoyed seeing the push in that second one on the spool end. They both were so close to that correct answer, but just both were off by a little. Tom Smith having the fat finger there on that one, that was pretty cool. A little bit of drama at the end. And I want to say congratulations to the Final Four. I know they're all on here. I'm leaving everybody on here for this one, but be sure to come back December 3rd, 10 o'clock a.m. It's going to be awesome. If you go to tootalltoby.com, there's a link that says calendar. You can click on December 3rd and get a Google notification for that. I don't have the live stream up yet because of how YouTube, it makes it easier for people to find the current one if I don't have them stacked. But you can at least get the reminder there, put it in your Google Calendar, your Outlook calendar, AOL Instant Messenger. And be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to share and reshare. Be sure to visit us over at tootalltoby.com. Anything you can do to support the channel. Super thanks if you're watching the recording. Super chat if you're watching live. It's always very much appreciated to keep this channel up and running. And thank you, chat, the most amazing chat ever. These guys were awesome. Thank you, Rafael, for being my outstanding co-host. You were awesome. It was great having you on here all day. Thanks, Chris Castle, for coming in, sticking around for an extra match. That was pretty cool.
So much fun.
Guys, if you enjoyed this, let us know in the chat. Let us know if you have any questions. I'll stick around and try to answer the questions. If you already asked the question and I missed it, just type it in the chat again. I'll stick around in the chat for a couple of minutes. It'll be like we're in an AOL Instant Messenger room. I love AOL Instant Messenger. Excited for it to come back someday. I think that's Elon's big plan, so I'm looking forward to that as well. And no Model Monday Live this Monday. I'm going to take off. I got to prep for the Final Four. Plus, we got Thanksgiving coming up here in the States. So, Rich K, I think you have the perfect comment here to end it on. Once again, amazing matches. Thanks, TTT. No, thanks all of you. You guys are all the ones that really make the magic happen here. So, thanks to all of our runners. Thanks to all of our chat pros. And I will see everybody not this Monday, possibly next Monday. I'll be putting out some content between now and then. Check out the practice models. Check out the YouTube channel. And everybody have a great holiday. And we will see everybody in a couple weeks. Thanks again, Rafael. Amazing co-host. Rafael, any final thoughts for the chat?
If I may add, I'm just so grateful that we have someone like Toby to unite the community. I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, let's go. Let's unite the tribes. That's what it's all about. Castle, any final thoughts before we break?
No, I just hope to see like a lot more people the next bracket competing, at different levels. This has got to keep going. Yeah. And you got to make sure you show your kids. Like, I think kids are super competitive these days with all the like esports stuff. Just show them. Like, my little nephew was in here the other day. He's like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "It's the next thing, man." I said, "It's the next thing." So maybe I'll get him competitive, and he'll be a professional at this.
That's awesome. All right, cool, guys. Well, thank you so much. I'll stick around in the chat. We'll hang out. We'll chat a little bit, but I will see everybody in the next one. Take care.
Thanks, Toby. Bye, man.
Bye-bye.
bye.